Okay. Okay. Am I alive? Oh, see. Hmm. Weird. Oh, there are. Weird. Cool. Oh, there are. Alright then. Weird. Cool. Oh, there are. Alright then. Weird. Cool. Oh, there are. Oh, morning, DJ Tyler Radio. I hope you're doing well. Oh, hi, Wide. I hope you're doing well. You? We're just gonna wait for a bit. For everyone to like come in along. Oh, hello, Gilgamesh Lord. I hope you're doing well. How are you all doing? And hello, Zeralton. How are you? 18 more days. Yo, 18 more days. It's crazy how close Veilguard is now. You know, it's so wild. Oh boy. Okay. I'm good, Zoltan. A bit hot though. Um, being in South Africa, is as they say a very hot experience. I never thought I'd take a day off for a game. I mean, no, yeah, right. Like, I mean, I would also do that. You know, it's like it's like for specific games, not like every game, but like for specific games, especially like Dragon Age, I think would be really cool. Like just take a day off and just play for the entire day. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Good. Um, great way to that is true, DJ Tyler Radio. It is a great way to celebrate, Halloween. Hello. Sorry for mispronouncing your name, Baramuda. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too as well. Can't come soon enough. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hello, Stereo Junes. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, yeah, like man, dude, it's crazy to think, They're like I'm still busy playing. I'm listening to Asunder now, and Asunder is like really good. I absolutely love it's Dragon Age Asunder, and I absolutely love it so much, especially because I've gotten to the point in the book where I met Win and Shale, and I absolutely love that part. It's so good. Yeah, I'm also like still busy with the Dragon Age 2. I may be able to finish Dragon Age 2 before Veilguard comes out, but not Inquisition, which does suck. But you know, still nice to play some Dragon Age games. You should rename your YouTube Mr. Man Dude. I'm not sure about that. Um, I like my name as is. Lol October can't consume enough, but also don't want to get it to go by so fast. Yeah, right. It's just like it should come on the pace I'm good with. Position is a huge game. It really is a huge game. Like I sometimes forget like just how big Inquisition is, especially with the amount of stuff you have to go through. It's like, oh yeah, it's not just like 2 open world. It's like 10 open worlds, and then 11 with the DLC, Trespasser, put in this here. Oh boy, it's bright. And then 11 with no with Trust, but with the Jaws of Hakon DLC. It's just a long game, you know, just a long game. Okay. So yeah, we'll just get it right into it. You know, we waited long enough. So today we're not gonna cover this. I'm just like having this so you guys don't have like a white screen on you. We're gonna cover this article where, and specifically the point where John Everett says like, I don't think we're ever going to make everyone happy, because I do feel like that's a very important message for him to say. White says it's been a decade. Yeah, it is. It has been a decade. You know, funny enough. You know, and I'm also surprised that BioWare didn't release Veilguard literally on Inquisition's birthday. It would be funny if they did that. You know, obviously I get why they didn't do that, but I would absolutely find it so hilarious. You know. Yeah, Inquisition was the best game of 2024. Yeah, 2014. We're not gonna make everyone happy, and that's okay. I mean, yeah, right. And I want to go through this and just like give my thoughts on it. And then after that, we're gonna go through this one. Because man, I hated this video so much, dude. This video like really riled me up. I'm not gonna feel as riled up as I was when I originally watched it. But man, I absolutely despise this video. So yeah, we're gonna go here, and also one of the very funny things right next here is literally the next point, which is the BioWare killer Greedfall. It's like, yeah, dude, Greedfall really did kill BioWare. You know, that's a true and real thing that happened. You know. Who's that? Big Dan Gaming. I don't know. Big Dan Gaming's been like a Mass Effect kind of guy, or like a BioWare kind of guy who covers them stuff, but like, I don't know. I've never liked their vibes. You know, I've always kind of like, I don't know why, but there's something just off about this to me. But anyways, so with no more, is Greedfall any good? I remember that game was really unpleasant as far as the graphics, story are kind of weird. Yeah, as White said, it's decent, right? Like to maybe go a bit to it. So Spider Studios, the guys who made Greedfall, are basically French Eurojank BioWare, you know, like, and that's I think the summation that you can have with it. Oh, hello Chili Hunter, I hope you're doing well. They're basically like BioWare but French Eurojank. That's the best way to describe them. They kind of they understand like what BioWare is doing and are trying to replicate that, but they obviously don't have like the budget or nearly the talent to make that happen, right? And so a lot of their games are just like trying to ape that, you know. Which is what they're greedy all is low budget Dragon Age. I mean, yeah, right. Yeah, Regina, it is kind of like low budget Dragon Age. You know, it has like a lot of the feels, but like yeah, with runway supermodels as the main characters. Where is it? I need to show you. What is it? Read, Wall, Legate, this are, I cannot pronounce the name or spell it for the life of me. Yeah, Desarde, Star. Sorry, this is the absolute funniest thing. I am Legate Desarde of the Merchant Congregation. Where is it? Oh man, dude. So like the main character is called Desarde, and every introduction they have is I am Legate Desarde of the Merchant Congregation. You know, it's just like, oh yeah. It's very funny, dude. It's so funny. Let me see if I can just get a better picture of them. French Euro sounds like an uncurable disease. I mean, it's kind of is. A lot of like also hi Gonzo Duke, hope you're doing well. This is like what our character is, you know, Desarde, you know. But yeah, like like a lot of like European games are weirdly janky. And not all of them. Obviously, like CD Projekt Red is, you know, a fairly good game, fairly good company with decent games, you know. But like every single other company in Europe has always this weird like jank to it, you know. It's weird. I'm not sure why that is, you know. Greedfall was alright. It felt a bit uncritical. It definitely did. It definitely had a lot of ideas, but yeah, and especially because I think what didn't help it was just shifting to an open world kind of thing. It feels weird that Greedfall like did that. It could have just stuck to with what Studios was doing before. Upper early. I also liked Greedfall 1. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just one of the things I think that people have to acknowledge with Greedfall is Greedfall was definitely not like the game that a lot of people describe it as, like the killer of BioWare, or like a successor of like in the same quality as BioWare, right? Not even like I don't even think Spider Studios has even reached the quality of Inquisition. Not saying Inquisition's bad, just saying Evil West would be a really cool game if it was open world. I've heard of Evil West. It looks good. It's Europe. Everything here is a bit. It's like Europe. Everything here is a bit janky. That is true. Why? That is true. Anyways, these are the two things we're gonna cover. Wait, everyone's wondering what Eurojank is. Remember how movement. Yeah. That's a good description. Zero. I'm terrible at names. Zero Thailand. The movement's always weird. The facial animations are weird. You can kind of tell with this like early screenshot, it looks something's off, right? For all the things people say about like, oh, this game looks bad. Like, you cannot tell me Veilguard looks worse than this. I'm sorry. Not to say Greedfall 2 is bad or Greedfall 1 is bad, but like there is something to this than this, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's lighting, maybe it's like the coloring, I don't know, texturing, but like there's something to it, and Veilguard is not like a graphically demanding game. Or bad character or bad character design. The Alistair haircut is here on full display. That is true. Budget differences. BioWare has more money. That is true. But the thing is that always kind of strikes me, and something I want to talk about when compared to Spiders. Yeah. Also, Apres Le Chute. We have a resident French man, I see. Is that like Larian obviously didn't have a lot of budget, and Baldur's Gate 3 did have a huge budget, but like it was building towards something, with DOS 1 to DOS 2 to DOS, basically DOS 3 to with Baldur's Gate 3, and that allowed it to do more with it, to look more sharper, right? DOS 1 does not look as good as Baldur's Gate 3, and so I think that's a factor, because like Greedfall, I mean, Spiders could have like gotten that if they stuck to a lot of the guns that they had, but we'll discuss this when we get into the video proper. Inquisition had many faults, but at the end of the day, I really like the Dragon Age lore and setting. Yeah, right. Inquisition's like open world and like lack of cinematic presentation really hinders it, but like it's still a good game. Like if you like removed all the open world elements and like just like strung it together in like cinematic stuff, people would not say that. People would have a wobbly leg, will be on thin ice to call that game bad. Graphics on Veilguard is good. The art style is questionable. Also, hi, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Quintus de Peles. Hi. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the art style is that bad. Like the art style to me looks good. I like it. Hi, Nightingale. First time catching you stream. Oh, hi, House of Jonah. I hope you're doing well. Also, a good example of a Eurojank is Helldivers 2. I mean, yeah, but that's charming Eurojank. Most Eurojank games that exist are kind of like it's like Elix, right? Let's see if we can find that. Where is it? Elix. I'm gonna go with Elix. Like I'm trying to no commentary. Like Elix 2 is an example of like Eurojank that's not charming at all. It just doesn't look that good, Let's just watch it for a bit. Like you can tell something's like weirdly off, Like what is while with like other while with Helldivers, it has like a charming Eurojank, It's like, yeah, this is charming, I accept it. Do you have an interest in Exodus? I recently finished the book and I want a game to. Yeah, I mean, I want to go through Exodus as well. I want to make a video. The basic gist of the video is Exodus a successor, or how good is Exodus? Sorry, is Exodus a good spiritual successor to Mass Effect, right? And just like go through it, on like what is Mass Effect and how is it trying to like do Mass Effect or evolve on it, 1029, was your birthday recently? No, I'd my birthday is 10th of December, right? You can tell on my Twitter. Just says it right there. Playing Darksiders 3 is such a fun game. Darksiders 3 is a good game, dude. I didn't like the beginning of Darksiders 3, but Darksiders 3 is still like, it's still a good game, Helldivers HS. Helldivers. That's true, Gina. I think it will be better than Mass Effect. The world building is better in my opinion. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to check that out myself. Because like I don't have any like perspective to stand on like, oh, is it better than Mass Effect or in what way, right? Especially because like their world building goals are a bit different. From what my memory, Exodus's aliens are basically just humans. Sorry, Helldivers was has a fun jank dude. Oh no, yeah. Oh okay, yeah. Yeah, Helldivers definitely has a fun jank to it. Anyways, Peter Hamilton is part of the team. The Godfather of Sci-Fi. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't. It's a hot take, I guess. I don't care about names. Like, names are important for a development team because it does help like structure and guide it and like have a sense of quality. But like, I'm not really interested in that. What I'm interested in is like the process of it, right? Do they understand the process of what makes Mass Effect good or what makes a good sci-fi? That's what's important to me. Who cares about like some big guy in there? Sorry if that sounds a bit weird, but that's how I feel about it. Hello, Al, the uncommon ice dragon. That sounds just like Star Trek. That's not very interesting. I mean, yeah, Ryan. Like, there is something you can do with that, but like the whole premise has to be surrounding that. While I think with like Mass Effect, one of the charms is just like meeting other alien races that are interesting and cool, like the Elcor and Volus and Hanar, right? Like they're obviously not big players, but like they're cool, They're awesome to see, I love them. But you don't really. But if Exodus' whole thing is like humans, but like all the aliens are humans, right? It's like, okay, sure, it's not bad, they can still work, they can still be a good sci-fi thing. But like, I think in terms of like a spiritual success to Mass Effect, I think that kind of sucks because like the charm of Mass Effect, right, was its aliens. Was like its alien designs and like cultures and races, Exodus races. Hold on, Exodus game. Also, Exodus is bad as well because it stole the fucking name for Dragon Age 2, okay? I hate him for it. That doesn't help me. Yeah, that's Ultima. I don't. Yeah, because I'm trying to find like any races or anything like that. I'm not really coming up with anything. Yeah, but like you can check here that like this is supposed to be an alien, right? And I'm like, okay. But with like this, it's like, holy shit, dude. Look at this, dude. This is like amazing, Like, sorry aside, like the Drell, Elcor, Hanar, the Solarians, Turians, Volus, the Batarians, the Quarians, Krogan, Vorcha, even like the new ones like Angar and Ked. Like they're cool species and ideas and what, right? While with a lot of Exodus, from what I see, it's just like humans but different, which is fine. They can do something with that, but like I think a spiritual successor to Mass Effect has to in some way have cool aliens, Let me catch up chat quickly. And the Celestials are the weirdest. Wait, oh boy, I have to catch up on chat. Also yes, but the fact that the Celestials have evolved from humans makes it more interesting. Apris, let's shoot. I don't think either method is better. I just think if it was a spiritual successor to Mass Effect, it would have to have aliens that weren't from humans. It would have to have that element. The Celestials, from what I see, looks interesting. I love the idea of the Celestials. It really is cool, you know. But I'm just saying, like, for a spiritual successor from Mass Effect, it has to, in some way, I think, have aliens. But yeah, Al says, I want aliens to actually be aliens, not just humans with skin plants. I mean, yeah, same, Ryan. Same. You know? And such. I mean, yeah, the Celestials are weird, yeah. Okay, yeah, I get it, but like, they are different in like, I've read some of the lore, you know. I wasn't just like, in my head just thinking like, I wonder what they're going to be, you know. I've read the lore, they're weird, but like, they're just humans on the surface level, right? And I'm saying as a like a spiritual successor to Mass Effect, it has to in some way contain like aliens, you know. Thanks. Prologue. Celestials. Like, I don't know, cool design, but like, man, I want it to be an alien, you know? If it's a Mass Effect thing, right? Mass Effect was really just Star Trek with more action, man. Mass Effect 2 and 3 lose some of the Trekkie space. I agree, Gina. I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you think it's a bad thing or you're just making a statement. That is the Siciliad. Okay, cool. I'm looking at that was a bit later. Well, Destiny 2 has technically all the player races are based off on humans too. Okay, now, Ducky's Pond. I don't think it's bad to have like. Oh, also hello, Julia. I hope you're doing well. I'm not saying like having humanoid races is bad, right? If I said that, then I would have to say like the Turians, the Batarians, the Solarians, the Vorcha, the Krogan are like bad alien races, right? Because like no, my point is that like if you are trying, hello Ice Scorpion, if you're trying to make a spiritual successor to Mass Effect, I think one of the things that you're gonna have to do is make an ensemble alien, like, you know, multiple alien races with like interesting backstories, unique cultures, and influenced by the like galaxy at large. The Hanar are influenced by the Protheans, you know, like in a huge way, you know, and that's like the charm of Mass Effect, in my opinion, right? But yeah, I don't think it's bad to have humanoid aliens. I'm just saying, like, if people are saying spiritual successor to Mass Effect, I expect that element, you know. Siciliads are symbiotes that bind with humans. I've seen that shoot. I don't think it's bad. I think it's cool. But again, my point is, if it's a spiritual successor to Mass Effect, it should probably have some aliens that aren't just humans. The Celestials are at times radically different from humans. Like I said, read the book, pretty crazy. I mean, I'll take your word for it, Apris. Just making a statement. I believe 2 met the perfect balance with or without DLC, but 3 was without the DLC. Okay. No, just wondering, because like I wasn't sure how to interpret that, if it was like in the affirmative or in the negative or just like a statement. Yeah, right. I mean, like, I do sometimes miss the sort of like Star Trek nature of Mass Effect 1. Because like my favorite Mass Effect game is Mass Effect 1 with flaws and all, you know? If there was an option to just like revert back to the old Mako like drive, old Mako control scheme or control in Mass Effect Legendary Edition, I would put it on, you know? Because like I'm a huge fan of Mass Effect 1. I love the vibes, I love the feelings, I love just the exploration and like how it makes this world just like so interesting, you know. That's what I really like about Mass Effect, you know. But yeah. Anyways, we have gone on the side tangent for quite a while. Let's in some process get through this, okay? Any point on the prior thing about Mass Effect Exodus or whatever? I'll get to it now. Okay. What I learned, just to also say, this is a Eurogamer article, and this is also a rare quote from John Epler, who says that I don't think we're ever going to make everyone happy, and I want to explore this. OG Maker controls was the ME's skill gap. Yeah, I successfully did that. Okay, Gina, no one could drive the Mako better than me, okay? I knew the moment when the Mako would tip, and I know it immediately. Anyways. I was fortunate enough to play Dragon Age the Veilguard for several hours, exploring missions, but here's the interview with co-game director John Epler. Technically, it's been 10 years since the previous Inquisition, but that doesn't mean Veilguard has been full in development for that time. The team has been iterating over ideas since Inquisition's add-on Trespasser came out, But in terms of actual game, as you see now, as it shapes, it's set, I'd say 4 years. Now this is very important because a lot of people are like, Veilguard has been in development for 10 years, which is just like dumb because like they not know that like other games came out between Inquisition and Inquisition and Veilguard, right? So like 4 years is for me an odd one because I thought it was more 3 years because the removal of all the live service elements came in 2021, so I think that would have like had a huge reset on development. But apparently it's just been like 4 years, which is interesting. John Epler tells me that's when everyone just started to come together and was like, oh yeah, yep, this is what we want. This is what we need for this Dragon Age game. There has been been rumors that the game is undergoing decision. Absolutely. Now this is interesting because like when asked like, hey, the game has undergone some fairly major revisions during its protracted development, and John was just like, yeah, it has. The version that we were working on back then was a version. And then the version we're working on now, there's definitely similarities. You'll see names that are the same in terms of the major actors. Obviously, Solus is still part of it, but the structure of the game has definitely changed and refined as we built, and again as we really focused on making a single-player story-based RPG. And I think like, oh, hello Roman. I hope you're doing well. We're just going over through this interview from John Epler. It's single player now, but BioWare did try some multiplayer ideas. Now this is interesting that they like go through this. Like Mass Effect did have like a cooperative multiplayer system where you would play where one player would control Shepard and another player would control like a companion. It wasn't like they were both Shepard. It was just like one was a companion, one wasn't. It was interesting. Even Dragon Age Inquisition had dungeon delving. We tried a bunch of different things. Multiplayer is one of them, Epler says. We tried a few opportunities how it would work and what didn't. But what comes down to it, as we as a studio that's made around, that's been constructed and honestly staffed around building these single-player story-based experiences. So once we started focusing on that, that's when things really came together for us. Now, I think this is very important, right? Because of a few things they said. That they're a studio that's been constructed and honestly staffed around. So like BioWare as a studio, it's not like they can't do multiplayer, but they have been constructed and staffed around this idea of single-player story-based games. Drew the Unspoken. Hey, Drew and the Unspoken. I hope you're doing well. I never played Mass Effect multiplayer or any multiplayer. I mean, yeah, right. I think ME3's multiplayer is good. But like it does suck that like it's attached to it's attached to like war assets, at least at the start. Hello Virginia Murr, I hope you're doing well. The ME online game in Andromeda was fun. It was fun. Oh, I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Drew in the Unspoken. There are 3 acts in the game, and it feels large. My days playing the first act, playing through the character creation, right up to level 30 in the C2Y side, which comics is spectacular event size of enemies serves you. Those who played Dragon Age Origins will know the enemy well. Given the level range I experienced 1 to 30, it suggests that Act 1 will occupy us for a considerable amount of time. It's not necessarily all a like-for-like calculation as far as the other acts are relatively length are concerned. We basically broke it down into essentially a 3-act structure, Eckler says. Each act is different, though. Not every act is exactly the same as the other one, and a lot of the content that's not on the critical path you can do anytime. We describe it as a context shift. At the end of each act, the context shifts, the world changes, and how Rook approaches the fight against the gods is going to change. Now, I think this is very interesting. Yeah, Gina. DA multiplayer was dry. Also, hello, Gaspar Looney. Hope you're doing well. ME3 multiplayer was good. I mean, yeah, ME3 multiplayer is good. Like, it's genuinely, I think, one of the best multiplayer games BioWare's ever made. Love the world changes thing between X. Which I want to mention, which is like, the acts are structured different, but they're not structured in like the content that they have. Because at least to me, what I'm interpreting from Epler saying is that we'll be able to like basically do all the side quests like in one go in Act 1, and then we'll not have a lot to go through. But what changes from act to act isn't amount of quests or quests progressing, though I think that will happen. Quest progressing, I mean. but the context will change. And I'm really looking forward to that, because from what I heard, like Act 2 sounds like it's going to be a really like glad to hear you're good, Gaspar Luna. We're good. Um, is going to change. Is going to be very heavily influenced by Act 1, which is really cool. And one thing is, in other words, Act 1 may be larger and longer than the others, which I think is fine. You know, I think. Oh, hey, Combi Fighter. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Kiwi. Hope you're doing well. Sorry, hold on. I'm being interrupted by my dog. Owning for. Bit late where I am. And what that means is like she's upset because she wants me to lie down in my bed. Which I'm happy though, because like to me, when you have an act structure, right, I think Act 1 should be the longest because it needs to set up a lot more things. And as the game progresses, it gets less and less and less. With Act 3 just being like the closing out, right? And that just makes sense to me because it's like, yeah, I hate it in games when the act, like Baldur's Gate 3, to bring it up, because I think that's the obvious one. Act 3 is just as long as the other acts, and that sucks. Because it's like, it's the end of the game, you need to close out, you need to actually like go and finish everything. But no, it's like, oh yeah, let's just make it the longest one, and kind of like screw any narrative like pacing, you know? Now the world's gonna get really blighted, dark, and dramatic, yeah? I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, hello, Gonzo fan. Hope you're doing well. So cute. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Rosie's upset with me. She wants me to like just lie in bed. Close down channel. Hello, I hope you're doing well. Lol, wonder if Act 2 will be considered the best one. Like you just consider. I mean, yeah, most likely. Like and maybe this is me just like speculating a bit too much, but I think Act 2 for Dragon Age Veilguard will be very similar to how Witcher 2's Act was, which was you in Act 1 you get to choose between Yorvath and Roach, and going to either side you get an entirely different Act 2. And I wonder if that's going to be the case, though on a much more grander scale, you know. Yeah, Kiwi, she's still a bit upset. It was rough with the bad service, very basic. You didn't miss anything. I mean, yeah, yeah. Hello. Wait, no, I did say hi to you. Christos? Yeah, I don't know how to spell your. I don't know how to say your name. I would love a plot twist of Solus being the final boss in Act 3. I mean, I think that's maybe the case. I think that's like a very safe bet. Like, I think Solus isn't like fully trapped. You know, I don't think Solus is like dumb enough to, or like isn't prepared enough for that kind of thing, right? Solus might literally just like, oh, I know that the Elven Gods, if I was alive and they knew I was alive, right, they would come after me. Because obviously the Elven Gods would immediately recognize Solus as the bigger threat. You know, they know Solus knows how to trap them. Solus is a lot more powerful than anyone else, right, in the currently alive. And they're like, okay, get him, you know. But if Solus is considered dead, he's gonna work behind the scenes and use Rook to, you know, manipulate the scenes, which I think is why Solus may be like a surprise final act villain, you know. Yeah. It's Kostas in English, I think. Oh, Kostas. Interesting name. Games that tend to always lose steam when they do Act 3. Bioshock and Alien action games to my mind. I mean, yeah, right. I hope so too as well. Because one of the weird, I mean, for those games like Bioshock and Alien Isolation, it's obviously a bit different because they're not RPGs. With RPGs, they suffer a bit more because RPGs have quests and have like you exploring things a lot more, and so it can kind of like remove the urgency of it. And I think it's fine for RPGs like that, but there would have to be a different RPG. BioWare is a lot more focused on a story, and so story-wise, it should like start wrapping up, but like maintain the momentum, as you say. I think Act 1 will be high fantasy, 2 will return to dark fantasy, Act 3 will return to I'm not sure if I agree with you, Gina. I agree that Act 1 will probably be like we're dealing with like how do I say, we're dealing with like really high fantasy concepts, as in like gods and stuff. But I don't think it's high fantasy in like every way. Though I do agree genuinely what you're going for, like good, bad, good kind of thing. Solus uses Rook as a chess piece, and then I mean, yeah, literally Rook is called Rook, right? It's I think quite obvious. Yeah, good thing to point out. Close down channel. Act 1 is a sort of get companions thing. Act 2 is a sort of get the factions to your side thing, and Act 3 is the boss stuff. I mean, that makes sense. Solus is not going to lol. Solus is not going to be the big bad. I mean, I'm not sure unless you have like insight that I don't have, Virginia. I think Solus is like, I think it's reasonable to assume that Solus might like have some last hurrah, right? More faction focus. That sounds interesting, Virginia. I have the cellist that played the famous melody. Oh, challenge. Okay, in Cyberpunk is on Veilguard. Oh, that's cool. That's and Johnny Silver's like. Oh, that's cool, Zonaton. Oh, my man. You know, give them my thanks. You know, Cyberpunk is a cool game. Hello, Sizzle Bubbles. Oh boy, finally caught one of your YT's lives. Oh no, thank you for coming. You know, thank you for anyone who comes here. You know, I always appreciate it. Yeah. Anyways, back to it. BioWare learned its lesson from the infamous Inquisition's Hinterlands log. Dragon Age Inquisition. I agree. Okay, what does John Epler say? We wanted we wanted all to feel very deliberate and handcrafted. So those missions, we learned our lessons from the Hinterlands. Epler says, as they're not meant to be fetch quests. So they have a story, they have narrative, they tie into the story of the space, tie into the larger arc of the characters or of the plot, or tie into how the various factions interact with the spaces inhabited. I'll tell you what, Bush adds, it's hard to buck trends sometimes, but we really felt like we could tell their best story. We could really create the most curated moment-to-moment experience by really going back to the mission-based structure. And I think this is very interesting, right, for a couple of reasons. One, when it says it's hard to buck trends sometimes, and like I think that's very true. Inquisition was an open world purely because Skyrim was. You know, a lot of people I think forget this point, which is Skyrim was more influential and in forcing a lot of studios that were not making open worlds to make open worlds, because that was the sort of like standard that a lot of people expected, right? They expected good games were associated with open world, right? Even though that's not true, it was just the thing that happened, right? And so it's good that they're saying like, yeah, it's hard to do that, but we felt like it was the best decision for us, which is a good thing because like I think that is true, right? The best moments in all of BioWare games are when they're really focused on the structure. I don't necessarily think mission-based structure is the only way for them to go. I don't necessarily think Origins was a mission-based structure game, but I do think this is like a really good thing to hear, you know. And as from what Epler says, that's also good as well. I think one of the bigger, and also one of the things that I think maybe should be mentioned more is, I hope that they made it more cinematic and better presentation-wise. A lot of the issues with Inquisition's quests were not necessarily was like fetch quests. Fetch quests can kind of like exist in all games to some degree. The issue is the how well presented are they, right? Because you can have a fetch quest that's presented like a phenomenally, you know. But it's good to hear that they've learned from like from Hinterlands and like made it a lot more focused. I think that's a good idea. Built on, it's so bizarre. Hans Zimmer is in charge of the soundtrack for the Dragon Age games. It is. This is. Oh, hello, Bart's. I hope you're doing well. And this may be like a weird take for me. I don't think Hans Zimmer's like music is bad. I think from what I heard from the main menu soundtrack, I think it's really good. Though I do feel like Hans Zimmer is being used as a name brand rather than like, oh yeah, this music's really good. His music is good, but I do feel like that's what a lot of it is. Given that we need Solus help, according to the devs, plus people who hate Solus who played 6 hours came out anymore, it's telling that he's not like. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Solus might be the boss. You know, again, I might not know. But I think he might be a boss, or at least like depending on how you treat him. If you treat him like a bag of garbage, you know, it's like, oh yeah, Oh, hello, beloved zombie. I hope you're doing well. Like if you treat Zolas as a bag of garbage, he might be like, oh yeah, time to ruin everyone's day, I was right, humans are trash, or like I was right, this whole veil thing is bad, kind of thing. No more shards, thank the maker indeed. Oh my gosh, dude. Every time I think I want to play Inquisition, I'm like, I want to see the scenes where it's like, oh my gosh, I have to struggle between choosing the Canary Alliance and saving the Chargers, or I have to think about like, man, should Cole be a spirit or should he be more of a real person? And then I'm like, but the shards, the Forbidden Oasis. Oh, collecting shards of the Forbidden Oasis. No, no. It really does take the winds out of your sails. Hey, Hans Zimmer did Gladio, which was. I mean, I'm not saying Gina. I'm not saying like he's a bad actor. He's a great actor. Great musician, great composer. I just feel like sometimes I always wonder if it's like name brand recognition rather than talent. He's talented. Which is good. He has both. Roman says, I think the problem with the Hinterlands was that it was kind of fun to explore at first, but on the second and third playthrough, it's kind of like, don't want to do this again. I mean, yeah, right. That's a lot of like Inquisition. The my favorite like parts to explore, right, were always like Fallowmire, Empress Deluan, Crestwood, what was it? There's one more I can't remember. Emerald Graves to an extent. No, Exalted Plains. Yeah, Exalted Plains. Those are my favorite ones because I absolutely adore those open worlds. They have so much like structure to them. You know. Thank you. Oh, cool. Love a zombie. Sissy Bubble says, agreed. I'm a big Hans Zimmer fan, but I definitely feel like he's been used as a big selling point. Yeah. Agree. Treating him like crap could eventually make him a boss. That makes sense. Yeah, right. Because like one of the things that like a lot of people said is like you can treat Solus like badly, right? You can basically say to him like, "Hey Solus, dumbass, bald head, you lost your hair. I saw it. You mad that you're bald, Like if you do that, eventually he'll get like a bit mad and maybe go like, maybe I was right in trying to tear down the veil, you know. I always save the shards until late in the game. The Fibonacci sucks. I mean, yeah, Drew. I always do it first because I'm like, I gotta get out of the way, right? Because what happens in my Inquisition playthroughs is I do all the open world stuff, and then I snap off everything. Everything is done then, basically. I have no more side quests, no more anything, and it's just like an immediate like go through there, and then it makes everything else better. Oh, Jaws of Hakon feels amazing. Descent feels amazing. Trespasser feels amazing because then it's just like riding a high of just like, yeah, I'm going through all the great writing and cinematics, I have a feeling Flemeth may make a surprise appearance in Act 3. Karis, Jenny, hey, I mean, if you have some insight, okay, can I also have some insight? Can I also get into BioWare's, doors or walls, as it were? I think it would make sense though, or like some visage of Flemeth. Well, if Solus wanted to tear up. Also, hello, Kilis Gina. I hope you're doing well. Hello, Jeremiah Kibashi. I hope you're doing well. Well, if Solus wanted to tear up the veil, I'm down. At the end, current world's mission changes. I mean, I would love to see if we could have an option to let Solus tear the veil down, especially if you're like an elven veil jumper. I think that would be cool. The haters are in shambles. The haters are in shambles, Jeremiah. They're melting. They can't take it. I like the music. I think it hits harder when you're actually playing and creating memories. I mean, yeah, right. Like gaming music. There are some like game music soundtracks that can be listened to by itself, and it is phenomenal. What is it? It's Destiny 2's like 2's music. I can't remember the name of it, but like it's one of the like first Journey, Destiny 2 Journey. And this is legitimately one of the best. You can listen to this and just like, wow. Just by itself. It is so good, Some game music has to be listened to with the game itself. and is enhanced with that. But some game music like this one is just like you can listen to yourself. And also like same with all the uh same with also all the Dragon Age Inquisition tavern music. You can just listen. What I used to do when I was at school, I would walk home and I would just listen to the tavern songs. You know, because it's just that good. You know, you can listen to it by yourself and just like yeah.
Find me still searching.
Good, so good. I want to see a Titan Eyebrows in Act 3. Same, Junior. No cards. I mean, yeah, right. I've seen some like hate videos recommended to me, Tyler, but like a majority of them have like quieted down, you know, or it's like hasn't affected general discourse. I saw the accessibility for Dragon Age Veilguard. I was blown away. I mean, yeah, right. It's really good that they've wrapped it up. You know, it's just a feeling. I mean, okay, Chris Junior, I'll believe you. It's just a feeling, you know. But if you have it, you know, you can always talk to me. You know, if you have some access, I would love to be in Buyer's Walls. You know. Goes on channel. I try to I try to all the major side quests, or at least I feel like sometimes a real good Inquisition do. Oh yeah, I know. I agree with you, Close Down Channel. I agree. Using Zimmer as just a name wouldn't even be the first time. Each one he did called Monument to Crisis for a game was basically only the main theme. So you're probably right. I mean, yeah. Though with Veilguard, I think it's a bit weird because like Hans Zimmer is always associated with like sort of dude bro movies, and like Veilguard is not a dude bro thing. It's by far a dude bro thing, you know. I don't know. Baldur's Gate 3 is the only game with a soundtrack that I would consider closest to Inquisition quality. I mean, yeah, right. Baldur's Gate 3, like, wait, no, what is it? Can't remember. I can't remember the beat for it, but like, yeah, I agree, Cola channel. That's a beautiful music. Oh my goodness. Yeah, beloved zombie. Too sad that like Destiny is a live service game, and also that you will never hear that music again. Destiny has like sunsetted the original campaign for Destiny 2, and you can no longer play it, which is sucks, dude. It sucks so much. I think Zimmer also works on Vows and Vengeance soundtrack. Then I don't know. Maybe we're in good hands. Vows and Vengeance has like an awesome soundtrack. I absolutely love it. Violins amazing. They are amazing. In my opinion, Dragon Age: The Veilguard will be the greatest finish. I mean, I hope so, Jimmy. I hope it's good. Destiny 2 has the best music in gaming, period. I mean, yeah, right. Destiny 2 has like some unrivaled music. It's sad that it's a part of Destiny 2, you know. Those bards songs are goated. They really are. Baldur's Gate 3 for me is overrated than Dragon Age: The Veilguard. I mean, yeah, I don't think Baldur's Gate 3 is overrated. I just think people are like are missing the point of Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is not a BioWare game. It's a Larian game. You know, that's fine. Tavern songs are magical. They really are. Roman says, "I'm excited to see what the new Tavern songs we're gonna." I am so excited, dude. If the Tavern songs are even half as good as any of these Inquisition ones, then we're in good hands. We're gonna be in good hands for sure. As there was more Dragon Age ambience music for you. I mean, yeah, right. It's weird that like I guess like it doesn't really make sense for Dragon Age because Dragon Age is not Skyrim. You know, Skyrim has great ambient music because like a majority of your time is just walking around. Tavern Sound things. It is really good. Drew the Unspoken. Every race seems to have a god. I wanted to see in Pantheon show up. I don't want it to be as. I mean, yeah, right. I mean, like, I don't think that is true, Gina, because like we have the Avar with their gods like Hakon, Koth, and like I can't remember the other like the Lady of the Sky. Like they're not like elves in disguise. They're just literally spirits, you know. Joseph Hakon confirms they're just like spirits who just like take up the position, you know. Funny. Zimmer did a lot of whimsical stuff: Interstellar, Inception, Dune, Fantasy. Huh. Sorry, I always associate Hans Zimmer with dudes bro stuff because that's the only time I hear him get mentioned. You know, I only hear him get mentioned when it's just like, yeah, you know this cool thing like that's awesome and epic, and it's just like Call of Duty. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. I do forget sometimes he made Dune's music, you know. Yep, same composer for Vows and Vengeance as for Div. Then like I think we're in good hands. If Hans Zimmer made Vows and Vengeance music, then I think we're in good hands. For definitely. Um. Ducky Spawn says we've been getting old raids back in the D2, but trust the community is so salty about the sensei. I mean, yeah, right. Wait, let me reread. I mean, yeah, right. Like old raids are cool in Destiny 2. It's cool to have like Destiny 1's raids again. But like, man, dude, I will never forget the feeling I had when I left the crumbling lost city as I walked up the hill in and the music was just playing. It was just loud and just oppressive, you know. A mixed of feelings of we are doomed, but then as it goes and continues, it's a rise up. It's no, we're ascending the mountain, we're ascending the struggles, we're going to defeat them, you know. And it's just like, man, that's so cool, you know? But I can't do that anymore. I can't experience that from Destiny 2. And it sucks, man. I would rather have that. I would rather have the Red War over any raid, you know? But that's obviously me, right? I miss when Bungie just made single player games. You know? I miss it, you know? I've never played Destiny 2, but I've had some song on my music playlist that so good. They really are good, Roman. Has the situation of you not getting change? Would be great to see your thoughts. Yeah, I don't. It's not gonna change. I don't think so. It might change in the future, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it. You know, which does suck. I've never been more hyped for a game since over 2067. I mean, oh, that's cool. Then. I mean, I'm also hyped for Veilguard as well. You know, I'm looking forward to it. Have you been keeping up with this? I mean, yeah. Also, hi, Urge Crusher. I've been keeping up with Vows and Vengeance. It is, as they say, literally the best thing in existence. You know, especially with the newest one. This is so good. I absolutely adore like Emmerich's showcase, especially because there's one that I absolutely love when he shouted, you know, "Spirit, I will not warn you again." It's just such a visceral, raw thing. He's serious. He's true, and it's just like, oh my god, I love it so much. I love it so much. People push too hard that Baldur's Gate 3 is Dragon Age Origins spiritual successor, but for me it's more like a spirit. I mean, yeah, right, Combi Fighter. Like if you've played DOS 1 and DOS 2, and then you played Baldur's Gate 3, you'll just like you're playing DOS 3 again. You know, gameplay wise, structure wise, everything about it is just a DOS game, a Divinity Original Sin game. It isn't bad. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not a BioWare game, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine to like layering games, you know? You don't have to like make it a weird thing of like, oh, we have it's actually BioWare, you know, but like what BioWare has been doing for the last like since its inception is actually not what BioWare is, you know. The basis for most pantheons in Dragon Age is Greco-Roman, steal the gods, giving them new names. So I mean that does make historical sense. Though I do think that like within that I do think there is some like original gods, because even in Greco-Roman, right? They went up and went to Odin and was like, Odin, this guy, your main chief pantheon guy, he's basically Hermes, you know? He runs fast, doesn't he? He's also a fast guy, you know? I mean, I guess, you know? I guess. Zimmer did the OG Lion King. Really? Huh. I always forget that Hans Zimmer, like, did a lot of stuff. Because, I don't know, yeah. Maybe it's just my bias of just, like, I just like it when people mention someone so frequently. You know, it's just like, oh, okay, is he actually good, or is this just like the meme, you know? I love the Avar and their gods. They're such a cool culture. It's a bummer you never get to play as one. Yeah, man. It would have been cool if we did get to have that barbarian origin in Origins, right? To be able to, like, experience that in a much more, like, fuller way. Also, hold on. Are you the streamer now, Rosie? Oh, listen, I want someone soul to play for a second again, buddy. I'm so right with you. Yeah, man. Like, I don't know why Bungie keeps doing this, okay? Come on, you got freed from, like, Activision shackles. Just make it a single-player game. We'll make a single-player game. I don't care. Like, bloody sucks. When listening to Vows and Vengeance, listen to the credits, Hans Zimmer. Oh, okay. Then I... Honestly, I listened to, like, the credits for a bit, and I was like, okay, cool, I got it. And I tapped out. Oh, hey, Steve. I hope you're doing well. Hey, Night. Great to see you again. And streaming, I mean... catch your stream sooner, but haven't been able to. No, I'm doing good, Steve. I'm doing well, really well. Just covering over the article that I have to get back to now. For having someone like Hans Zimmer aboard is definitely a win. It is a win for a lot of reasons. I listened to it for a bit of the new theme. It was okay. Okay, close down channel. Okay, back to it. Ooh. Okay. Less control over companions is intended to make them feel more autonomous beings. Now, there's a few things I have a comment on, but let's just hear what the developers say. Our North Star, which says, was we wanted you to embody Rook, to step into Rook's shoes, to experience this world on the ground as this character. And what that meant is giving you more autonomy, more control over your character, putting you in the control of every single swing, really making it feel like you're a part of the world. And what's more, we talked a lot about, I know a lot of the questions came up today, about the companions, the depth, the authenticity. We really felt like there was a big opportunity to make the companions feel more realized, more feel like they're characters that fight alongside you, have their own playstyles and motivations, interactions. But of course, throughout all that, we do know in the combat system the sense of teamwork, pausing. Play tactical depth has been the through line through every single Dragon edition. So we wanted to walk the fine line of making that teamwork and sense of strategy shows up, but also make you feel like you're in the world. But also, Peter says, part of making the companions feel like their own people, like their own characters, is giving them autonomy as well as on the battlefield. You're the leader of this group, but they have their own personalities, their own stories, and we wanted to make sure that you felt that through the gameplay as well. Now, I don't think they're wrong. I do think that, they did try to make the companions feel autonomous and their own people, right? I think that is true. But like, I feel like a huge reason for why the companions aren't controllable are because of the gameplay changes, and that's simply it. Like the gameplay changes are, I think, really why the companions are no longer controllable. Not necessarily because like they want to emphasize teamwork. Now, I don't think they're lying entirely when they feel like companions having their own controlling gameplay makes them feel more autonomous. I think that's true. But I do feel like a large amount of this is like, yeah, we couldn't really get like controllable companions to work really well, so we tried to like steer it into a different direction, which is fine. Okay. Thank you for pausing. The article at the Lucanus from. I mean, yeah, right. Lucanus is a really good guy. I absolutely loved Lucanus's Vows and Vengeance one. It was supremely good. I love his voice. You can romance any companion's character, but it's not apparently player sexual. One of the things we really wanted to allow us player choice as much as possible, so being able to develop a romance with any character no matter what, who your rook is, but those romances may play out differently based on an activity. But handling romances and romantic options is quite the challenge, and to be honest with you all, I'm not sure that's the right answer on how to approach it. What we felt was best for this game was to make sure that your companions that you could romance the companions, but I wanted to be clear that it's not player sexual. They're fully fleshed out characters that have their own romantic histories, preferences, backgrounds, and that doesn't change based on who you, the player, are. They don't adapt to their personalities to conform to the player, and that's fundamentally the difference. There's merit to it and challenges. We are mindful to have characters in the world of all orientations so that we don't get that really thoughtful representation again. I think that's fine, but I do think ultimately one of the big reasons why they did, all companions romanceable, right, by all like genders and races, is simply because, they they knew it was a lot more successful. A lot more players just like it like that, and I'm also one of them, right? But it does take some like unique distinctions. Oh, logic. Um, yeah, I like their performance being influenced by certain moments, making them more aggressive and less supportive. Probably hard to do in giving control. I mean, yeah, right. Yeah, right. I can agree with that. I think they did the best they could with without being able to control companions anymore, right? I do find the new mechanic of companions leaving to their own quests and being able to run into them out in the game to help is so cool. It's some, I mean, yeah, same. I absolutely love that idea, Roman, because like companions being able to just like do their own thing is such a good way indication of like, yeah, they're their own people, you know, not just like in you make them disapprove enough and they leave, but like legitimately they have something that's really important to them and then they run off to do that, you know. I think, as political as this might sound, that restricting romance by gender is kind of a relic of the past. It was frustrating in Cyberpunk how limited the options were. I don't disagree, Zoltan. I don't disagree at all. I think ultimately like all romanceable companions is maybe a bit better, right? Like all companions like being romanceable regardless of gender is a good thing. I do think though it does like I do think there are some like restrictions there. You know, um, I do think there are some restrictions. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I want to. I mean, yeah, right. I mean, if I ever play Cyberpunk, like I would like to romance pan them. You know, I mean that's cool. Like obviously I can't as a female V. I know some people in the past got upset if they couldn't romance a specific companion. I mean, yeah, right. I was also that, right? Because like I remember I played as a female elf my first Inquisition playthrough, and I wanted to romance Cassandra. I couldn't because Cassandra was not romanceable by female characters. So I after I finished, I played it again. This time with a canary, male canary, and I was like, oh, cool. I was able to romance Cassandra. I'm glad I won't be forced to play a guy protagonist in order to do some romance in the game. Grandma was constantly forced to play. I mean, I get you, Virginia. Yeah, I think it is overall better in the long term that all companions are like romanceable. I mean, not all. That all that romances don't aren't like locked by gender. I do think that like some companions shouldn't be romanceable. You know, because like as much as people want Varric to be romanceable, I do think it's good that Varric isn't. Um, I think characters having preferences makes them have. I agree. I think like it is sacrificing their agency a bit to have them like no preferences because like in our real world, a lot of people have preferences. You know, minor and major. You know, but like it does make sense for why they don't. You know, what do you think would happen if Dav does not so well? Well, I think BioWare would shut down. You know, no real reason to beat around the bush. I think they would just shut down. I do think that like even if Dav does well, I do think BioWare might just get shut down regardless because EA might just be thinking like we need FIFA numbers and Veilguard is not going to do FIFA numbers, you know. Not even like even with its success, right, of 10 million copies of something like that, it's not going to do FIFA numbers. Hello Tutsi. I hope you're doing well, and I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Given the fact that the player has the option to be non-binary, I think it was a good idea to not lock the romance by gender. Oh yeah, that would have been terrible, dude. Because then you would be like, okay, wait, would Emmerich be into a non-binary romance? Oh my gosh, dude. Would Harding would Lucanus? Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, I can see. It would have been like it would have been a lot to think about. Now, this is something I think that's very interesting. To go back to the article, you can really be evil in Veilguard. But it's actually something that's okay. Given my outrageous antics in my Let's Get Evil in Baldur's Gate 3, and the ability to negatively affect the world is of prime importance to me. Grin, it's actually something that's began with Dragon Age Origins many years ago. As Morgan and a desire for blood magic that has led me my normally goody two shoes paths and somewhere darker altogether. But BioWare games have changed since then. You haven't been able to be evil in some of the in them for some years. I'm not actually sure which was the last game you could be evil in. Dragon Age 2, was it? Or Star Wars The Old Republic. The same is true in Veilguard to my disappointment, and it's something I saw firsthand in options of the day. Rook is a character who, because of where the world is, because of the stakes, they need to stop the Elven Gods, Epler says. Epler explains why you do that, your motivations for doing that, and how you approach it. You do have a lot of choice in how you approach those missions. There's some big choices in the game fairly early, and where you can do some things that are pretty moral, not spectacularly. Morally, not spectacularly. But it's not a game where you can go off and murder a bunch of orphans, he says. But we wanted to give you the feeling that I know I can build this character that I roleplay in a way that I'm passionate about and excited about. Now, I think this is like important for a lot of reasons. One of those reasons are being evil in an RPG is cool, but it has to be supported. You can be evil in Origins. You can even do blood magic, but like it doesn't really represent any much. The game really expects you to do that. If you want to have an evil RPG, you're gonna have to have a game that like represents that. But then that's like locking all RPGs into the story of you have to have the evil option as well, which is cool and whatnot. But I think the story that Veilguard is trying to tell is not let's be evil all the time forever. It's hey, you're being faced with a very tough situation, and as a role-playing game, it is certainly viable to role-play in that way. A lot of people kind of make the mistake that role-playing games are about just like the player having a self-insert or making whatever character, but they kind of ignore the fact that like you can play a role. What if a game wants to focus and support the decisions of one kind of role? In this instance, Rook. And I think what Veilguard is doing, while you can't really be evil, I think it's fine. I don't think anything is really lost. I think people who want those evil options is fine, but I do think that's like missing a lot of the point of like BioWare games. Even within Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, where you could be evil, it was supported narratively. And that's the thing that like this. You need a narrative, you need narrative support to be evil. Otherwise, it just feels shallow. It just feels like the game's just like, I want to smash the toys together, Let me just catch up on chat. So you're saying that regardless of how it sells, it's not FIFA. I mean, yeah, right. I feel like EA, like they want to be more than just like the sports company, but they have a tendency to just be the sports company, right? Like they've shut down studios for doing well, within their genre, right? Like Dead Space remake was successful, right? It was not like a garbage sale. It was not like terrible in sales, right? It was good. It was really good. But EA wanted more, The hottest goth mommy to end all goth mummies and the only romance non-binary men. That's true, Zelton. That's true. Steve, the romances could be quite cool. Say if once the romance doesn't like your personality or actions, it means it would have a lot harder to. I mean, that'd be cool though. That like romances would be restricted on personality rather than like gender or race. That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Yeah, that would be. That would. Yeah, that would be interesting. I agree. Thing is, I don't think most people choose evil options, so they could be a waste of development time. Yeah, not a lot of people do that. There are some players who okay, and players. Maybe this is a bit mean for me to say. Players who are like, oh yeah, the Daily should die. And when they give the reasons, they're like, yeah, they're super annoying. And they kind of deserve it. Which I'm like, holy shit, are you okay? Like, I would be fine if you said like the reason you killed the Dalish because it's like, yeah, because I wanted to, okay, I wanted to see what happens. Like, oh, okay, that's fine, But when it's just like, yeah, I'm defending my position of killing the Dalish because they're annoying and they kind of deserve it. It's like, oh, okay. I feel like a lot of people who want evil decisions are kind of like that. They kind of just like want to be evil, not because it's like a narrative like intrigue or anything. It's just like, oh yeah, because I'm actually an evil person. I want to just express my will, Like, oh, okay. I'm not feeling too optimistic on I'm mentioning two aspects on Rook character because backstory reflection is backstory. I mean, yeah, right. I do agree on that, Al. It would have been nice. I think that would be fine if we had a lot more like an hour prologue, right, or at least something like that to be able to like experience that, even if it was literally all the same of like we angered some dude in higher up and we got like kicked out or like we got sent somewhere else. Like okay, but at least we got a cool like prologue on it, you know. Not not evil makes sense. An evil person would try to save the world. An evil person wouldn't. Yeah, right. You could make the argument that like an evil person would want to like rule the world or destroy the world in their own terms. But I don't know, man. I feel like that it has to have a lot of narrative gymnastics in it. Um, I feel like I feel like Dragon Age and Mass Effect are more merciful slash ruthless slash good and evil. You don't really get to. I mean, yeah, right. Like even Dragon Age Origins, a lot of the reasons, a lot of the evil decisions, like killing the Dalish, are justified by you getting an army, but in a different way. You know, all the decisions you make that are evil in Origins is basically you to get power to stop the Blight. Even like the Honleith one where you let that girl get possessed, right? Like oh, that happens because you get power. That's an option because you can get power. You get something out of it, you know. It's not because like you get to be evil because you want to be evil, you know. Reminds me of Starin's rejection if he doesn't like you in Baldur's Gate 3. It's not you, it's me. I have standards. That's funny. That's funny. I wonder if Rook will have more room to have more of a unique personality. I like Love Mankey, but they don't give you a lot of room personality-wise. I think. I mean, yeah, I wonder, right? I feel like to me, Rook feels more similar to Hawk because they feel like they have a bit more definition to them. Um, that's what I feel at least. You know, it's not like a surefire concrete. This is what I think is gonna happen. I just feel like that. Vil Mumbai says, I agree that evil paths can easily be a detriment to the story if the devs aren't fully committed to accommodating them. Yeah, right. And that's like the issue, right? I don't think it's bad if you have an evil path. I think that's cool. I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate that in RPGs. But it does mean that you're restricting what stories you can tell. Because if you have to always have an evil option, you kind of have to change what the story you're telling is. You know. I don't like evil rights in games. It's a cool option to have, but it's not for me. Yeah, same. I can't believe we're yeah, it is wild, you know. We're so close to it, you know. 2 weeks out, right? Well, it gives player choice to be evil. Would be weird when the game where you play Rook. Yeah, right. Like if the narrative of the RPG is try to save like here's the thing, Witcher 3, right? Witcher 3's whole narrative is trying to save Ciri, you know? First Yennefer, then Ciri. It would be weird for Geralt to just have the option to kill Ciri, you know? Or Yennefer. It's like weird. Like what do you mean, dude? That doesn't make sense at all. But like that's the kind of thing that has to happen. If the story doesn't allow for an evil option, then the story doesn't allow for an evil option. People can make the argument of like then the story should allow for an evil option. But then it's like, okay, that's the story that's not trying to be told, you know? To be fair, the backstories, despite how similar they are for the factions, and it makes sense, as that's why Rook is exactly the kind of person Varric sought out. Someone who wants to save the world. Yeah. Yeah, right, yeah. I think, hello, GK. I hope you're doing well. I think this is missing the point, but it's about having the freedom to do morally questionable things to achieve our means, but being evil is not easy, mindless thing to do. I mean, John Epler basically said that. You know, they said that you can do some things that are pretty morally not spectacular, but it's not a game where you can go kill off and murder a bunch of orphans. Like I think that's gonna happen. GK. Rook is more like Hawk. Dragon Age 2. Let's go. Dragon Age 2. It's back again. Okay. Haunting Origins fans dreams. It's just that gamers expect every path to have equal rewards, even though the evil consequences have negative consequences. Yeah, right. They wanted to like be as legitimate as like the good path, which is weird. You know, like being evil is not a path to success. You know, like sometimes it is, but like that's in different contexts. It will be a purple rook time. Yeah, purple rook time. Okay. Welcome back, Hawk. Welcome back. You know, you've reincarnated as Rook. Let's continue on with the article. There is at least, I won't get into spoilers, but there are definitely a couple of fairly significant choices that reshape the world in pretty big ways, Epler says. Nudge, nudge. I don't see any dialogue affecting skills such as, and this is another thing that I can definitely tell that this, the article writer is definitely a fan of like these kind of like RPGs where you have like skills affecting dialogue, like Fallout New Vegas, which is fine, you know, but I don't necessarily think that's like what BioWare has always done. I don't even think Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 had that. I could be wrong, probably am wrong, but I don't think even Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 had those kind of things. And Origin's like dialogue affecting skills was cunning, but cunning was never needed, you know. Cunning unlocked some new interesting dialogue options, but like new dialogue, new conversations, but it never unlocked new paths to or new solutions to dialogue. We wanted to focus on base reactivity. One of the things with dialogue skills is that, and was true in Mass Effect, is the moment you have one, that you're putting your first 20 skill points, because, well, if it's going to unlock unlock special things for me, I'm not ashamed to say that I know exactly what he's talking about. I mean, that's true, Ryan. Now, I think the counter argument you can have with this is that it's part of the role playing experience to have a character who's narratively weak, whose narrative skills are weak, and so they have like different options. But like for BioWare, the point is narrative. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I'm playing a BioWare game for like you're playing a BioWare game for a specific like role playing purpose. You know, I feel it is. Hawk died. Dragon. Welcome back. Yeah, welcome back, Hawk. I don't like skill checks, at least how it's done in Mass Effect, because it just makes you choose, like that article says. I mean, yeah, right. Like, oh, Mass Effect 1 opens up. Oh, I have Charm and Intimidate. I guess I'm picking Charm. I guess I'm doing that, you know. I'm going to accidentally making all my rooks purple without trying. Yeah, it's going to be hard to do that, you know. Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 did have the checks tied to skills sometimes, but it never showed when those were. Yeah, Ryan. It's weird, you know. Because I don't even feel like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 had strong like skill checks, you know. It definitely seems like Dav is a cool blend of the best of Dragon Age 2 and Mass Effect 2, which I think is good, you know. I love those two games. I think Inquisition may have gone in a good path, like making your character have learn stuff rather than being. Yeah, I think I like that as well. You know, I like being able to like, oh, I learned more about magic and therefore I have more magic dialogue options. You know, I love the persuade/intimidate options. I wish they come back. I mean, I think they were cool as well. You know, yeah, I don't know. Because like it is an issue with like a lot of like narrative RPGs, especially like the BioWare, where it's like you want those options, but you then have to suffer mechanically for them, which makes sense for a role playing game. But for BioWare, the point is like their narrative. You know, they're not very strong in mechanics. Okay. There's no keep for importing saves, but something broadly equivalent. Now this is interesting. There's no external keep feature for importing past Dragon Age save data into the game this time, but there's something else built in the game. During character creation, you'll have the ability to import your Inquisitor from Inquisition and all the associated major choices that during the game. If you don't have an Inquisitor, you can make one in the Veilguard. The reason why it's done this way is twofold. Firstly, it helps contain the amount of choice being brought in from the previous games, because Epler points out a lot of the choices made in the previous Dragon Age games pertain to places that aren't relevant. For us, the core philosophy was we wanted to make choices that matter, choices that we wanted to actually reflect. Epler says, part of going to Northern Thedas is a lot of stuff matters tremendously if you're in Ferelden, and Orlais doesn't matter as much in Winter. The other reason is this way to serve as an onboarding tool. It's been a long time since Inquisition, even if you're a diehard fan, unless you're watching a YouTube replay of the whole game, you might get a little cobwebsy. would allow you to replicate those choices that John mentioned are contextually appropriate to the game, but we also view as a dual purpose onboarding. If I'm a player, I just don't want to. I don't remember those beautiful tarot cards. Yeah, right. Again, I do think it's interesting. I do think it's fine what they did with Keep, and only having like 3 choices, because it does make sense. There's a lot of sense to it, but it does suck, that we won't be able to have like more. I do hope that like we will get like a culture 2 style, like choose the dialogue option or choose like the world state kind of thing. But yeah, catching up on chat real quick. I think Dragon Age 2 could have been the best in the series if it had more time. Oh yeah, definitely. I agree completely. I think if Dragon Age 2 did not have any reused like level assets whatsoever, people would be a lot more positive, because that's the biggest negative that people keep talking about. Was a great character and product, but limited scope. I mean, yeah, but I like the limited scope. Position was too much filler space, not enough that mattered. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? I think a limited scope game, I think a limited scope game is better than like a game with a lot of like filler space. Because like at least you feel a lot more like purposeful with what's happening. Hello Wonkasar, I hope you're doing well. I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 is a good game. Also, it may be controversial, but Baldur's Gate 3's gameplay is not very fun. It lets you do a lot, but I find it myself kicking myself. I mean, yeah, I don't like turn-based games. I know a lot of people like it. I'm just not a fan of turn-based games in general. They're just not my thing at all. The Keep was a nightmare to get working, so I'm glad it's not being used for DAV. It was good to organize playthroughs there. I mean, yeah, right. Yeah. It does like we don't have Keep anymore, I love the plethora of Veilguard completely ignores DA or article titles that popped up after the 3 choices. Oh man, it was so terrible. It's just like, okay, cool, dudes. Let's get away from the actual legitimate criticisms about it and just like talk about it in a, oh yeah, it's actually bad, terrible, and the game's gonna be awful. Exactly. Like, oh no. Taking the nuance right out of it, instead of having a sensible conversation. I'm looking forward to Dav, though. The characters and the world of Dav is my favorite, and getting to explore something entirely unfamiliar other than context is fun. I mean, yeah, right. I think people have to remember that the game is still trying to tell a story. Dav is still trying to tell a story, tell a story. And like, you can't really do that if the entire game is just oh yeah, here's the game, but it's just references, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but it does mean that the story has to be a bit weaker because it just has to reference everything before, that should only really happen as like an end of game, a lost game in the series kind of thing. I also feel the reasons for the limited keep doesn't hold up when you consider that who becomes divine is. I mean, yeah, right. I agree, Grizz fan. I don't know how they're going to do that as well. I do hope there's going to be some way to do it, Clickbait hate everywhere. Yeah, I agree. BioWare did kind of set themselves with the limited choices, like only 3. I do agree, Al. I do wish there was more. I wonder how they're going to deal with, like, Cassandra being divine, It's, yeah, I wonder. I don't know how do you feel about the only 3 choices carrying over, mostly because the weight of those choices depend on the info, not added, like my romance is Iron Bull, but he died in Trespass. I mean, I imagine, I think it's retcon, though. Not in, like, the, I don't know, it's weird. It's complicated. I don't think it's, like, retcon as in, like, that never happened ever. It's more of, like, if you romance him, you chose the charges to live, kind of thing. 100% fine with the choices, the new story, I mean, I am as well, Virginia. I do hope we'll be able to do something with it, though. Like, I do hope we'll be somehow able to inform some choices, from the prior games. Like, Cassandra being divine. Like, how will the Inquisitor mention that? It's like, oh yeah, my girlfriend is, or my wife is divine Victoria, aka Cassandra. Yeah, I know. But yeah. Okay, moving on to the article. I think we're nearly done. Yeah, okay. Oh. Doing character creation. Wait. Here. It may be divisive, but BioWare believes the Veilguard will ultimately win people around. Then the comparisons to Baldur's Gate 3, winner, the art style for one, leaves timeless. And I do think like Veilguard's is going to be like long lasting. That its art style is going to be long lasting. You know, for what it's worth, I agree. The Veilguard was gorgeous when I played it. One of the best looking BioWare scenes. I mean, obviously people have their thoughts. He adds, and in case of a game like Veilguard, you spoke to it earlier. This game, where yeah, and that's important, right? Because like so many people, like 10 years ago, and we've had like a lot of time just to think about like what Veilguard is going to be, right? Like what kind of game it is, you know. He continues, anytime you make changes to anything that's been around for a while, there's going to be some elements of divisiveness. And what really it comes down to is believing in the direction you're going and then showing people more of it, showing people why it makes sense in context. Which is why BioWare is trying to do exactly with the official blog posts and preview events like these. There's always going to be some people who aren't happy with one element or another, and that's true of anything that you create. Now, I think this is like very true for a lot of reasons. One, because I think it's good that like when these people who are making a game, right, that they're like, you have to make a game that you believe in, right, that you want to make, you know, and some people may not like it, but it's something that you have to put in the effort in, right, which I think is what like makes Larian Studios so successful. They're not like mainstream at all, but they did what they did so well, and refined it to make something that like people like. You know, you can't like make everyone happy, but you can make the people you want to make happy. You know. BioWare, though, attracts a fierce kind of scrutiny, perhaps more than any other developer I've known. It speaks to the amount of people BioWare games have reached over the decades and the effect of those games had on them. And as for me, by a byproduct of being around for so long, it's inevitable change. Now, this is something I really disagree with the article. The BioWare that made Baldur's Gate 2 or even Dragon Age Origins is still the same BioWare that making Veilguard now. I disagree with this so much, dude. Like, I feel like this is a failure of understanding what Baldur's Gate 2 or Origins was, what kind of RPGs they were. To think that like Veilguard isn't similar to it in some way. This is literally just like not same gameplay, not same art style, different then. You know, it's like, which is like dumb. Like, yeah. We know this, and yet the phenomenal success of Baldur's Gate 3 has rekindled a spark of mutiny about why modern BioWare. And again, I just disagree with his because it's like it's implying that BioWare is somehow like, oh yeah, BioWare was a CRP. Like in terms of like they were making computer RPGs, yeah they were, but they're not like they're still making the same kind of RPG, you know. Baldur's Gate 3 is not BioWare, it's Larian, you know. But this is interesting from what Epler says. Honestly, I love that Baldur's Gate 3 was so successful. Because as an RPG creator, as an RPG, it expands the market, it expands the people who are going to want to play your game and who are passionate about it. In the case of Baldur's Gate 3, you have the very specific focus with a very specific, we have a very specific focus, and we talk about. This is a thing I think John Epler, genius as he is, IQ in a million, right? As he is, basically says in the case of Baldur's Gate 3, they have a very specific focus, and we have a very specific focus. He knows immediately that like they're different, right? And we talk to the people at Larian all the time. There's friendships. We love Baldur's Gate. They talk about Dragon Age as well, and it's always strange to hear the idea that there's conflict between conflict because we just want the other people to do well. Because if Baldur's Gate 3 does well, suddenly you've got millions of people who are ready for another fantasy RPG experience, and we have the Veilguard. It's so weird to me how a lot of people like to use Larian as a bludgeon against BioWare, you know, and how they like BioWare's afraid of Baldur's Gate 3 and Larian, which is dumb, you know. It's literally just like I hate those people so much because it seems like they don't even care about the game itself. The game isn't important to them. It's the tool that to use to bludgeon them, you know. Here's something I was hoping to hear, because in the past it seemed BioWare was trying to please other people rather than focus on what it feels is best. And this is part of the article I absolutely adore. I don't think you'll ever make everyone happy, Epler says. And I think, honestly, if you do try to make everyone on any creative project, everyone happy on the creative project, you ultimately end up making no one happy. Because you're compromising one thing for another. You'll end up in a mushy middle where nobody's happy because you're not you are not doing X well enough for the people who like X. You're not doing Y enough well enough for the people who like Y. And more importantly, you yourself as a creator are not making the thing you believe in that you think it should be. I always find a design by committee in a lot of ways ends up being the death of creative endeavors when you're trying to make everyone happy. I don't think we're going to make everyone happy. Yeah, there's always going to be someone who's unhappy. But ultimately, it's about making the best version of the game that you believe as a creator in the game it needs to be, and then putting it out there. Some people will love it, and some people won't. But at least you'll have those people who love it because you did care enough to go in the direction you felt right. And this is like phenomenal. Anyone who dislikes Veilguard, it's fine if you dislike Veilguard. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's good, and I imagine a lot of people should think it's good that BioWare is going into this direction. And, that Epler says this. That, hey, we are going to commit to what we want to do, what we feel is right. And while we won't make everyone happy, we're going to make the people who want the kind of game we're making happy a lot. And that, I think, is good. And that is, I think, one of the best signs that Dragon Age Veilguard may not necessarily be like the best game ever, but it'll be a good game and true to itself. So yeah, let me catch up on chat and then we'll move on to the video. Julian Unspoken says, maybe Divine Victoria is only mentioned by name, but all Varric may not only mention. I mean, yeah, I get you. Wonka Star, I didn't write it off, just don't find the gameplay is fun, but the roleplay is main. Okay. I wonder if you can pick things in dialogue that relate to past choices. I hope so too, Roman. I hope so as well. Steve says, it seems like the reactivity of Dav is going to much greater scope, where you going to feel the consequences of your choices. I mean, yeah, I think that's a good compromise, in a way. Because, like, if it's going to make the choices itself better, like, in-game reactivity better, then I think that's, like, a fine enough trade-off, It does suck, but I do think it's good, I think Veilguard facial animations and cutscenes are absolutely amazing, considering... I mean, yeah, right? Like, it really is, like, amazing how well the facial animations for Veilguard are. Al says, I don't think limited choices criticism is going to go away, given... I mean, I agree. I don't think it's going to go away. But I do think people should understand, like, the reason and why it's there, I think there's a good reason and a well-intentioned one. In-game choices definitely look like they're going to be impactful. I agree. We just... it won't be relevant for Deventer, but we're also going to Antiva, Navarra, and Rintevi. Okay, I agree, Goriz fan, but like, Ravani does not have like a good hold does not like really care about the Chantry. They're like lip service, They care more about their seers, the wise women, and like the fallen the Qun. It is not like it follows the Southern Chantry as in like a lip service. Antiva more, Navarra in a weird circumstance. Navarra has mages that are kind of like apart. Like Cumberland, like where the Enchanter of Colleges used to be, was there, Dav has me excited to see something new, a region we've only heard. I mean, same, Wonkastar, same. Yeah, the Larian folks are very supportive of BioWare and vice versa. Yeah, it just makes sense, right? Like, if all here's the thing. If all RPGs are, if one RPG does well, all RPGs do well. The boat lifts everyone up. The waves lift everyone up, Just bummed I'm not even getting a Codex or second letter from Zevran, Fenris, Isabella. I mean, I agree, Tamara K, and also hi. Hope you're doing well. I agree, Tamara K. It does suck that we won't be able to get that kind of stuff, because I do like those things. I think it's good to see BioWare's team that's actually completely confident in the game that they've created. Even if the game doesn't fit everyone's vision, at least it's done by everyone's... Yeah, right. Like, it's good that they feel that it's going to be good for what they want. Like, hey, this is the game we feel is right for us, that we're confident in and then we think is best. Is it going to be good? Who knows? But it's going to be something that BioWare believes in. And is trying to make work, which I think is good. I think is really good. Yeah, those Giga Chat gamers say that they're tired of live service stuff in multiplayer games, but the second they see a single player RPG, it's broken bad, but and the studio should close down. Yeah, Zoltan, it's so weird, you know? Like, oh yeah, this is studio that's like doing what you want. Oh, but like it has a woman in it. I guess it's bad then. Like weird. BioWare owned me with their storytelling in Dragon Age Origins, increased that with Dragon Age 2, and especially in Inquisition. I want them to tell the story they want to tell. Yeah, same, you know? Also, hi, Indiana Holmes. Same, Virginia. Like, BioWare is at their best when they're doing what they want to do. You know? That's same with, like, any creative endeavor. You know? It is all creative endeavors are done better or made better, right? When the creatives get to do what they want to do. Which I do feel like, and this is something I always wonder, if like Dragon Age, like on its own terms, like ends, I do hope BioWare gets to make a new IP because I want to see what they do with a new IP, you know, with like Trick Weeks. Sorry, my apologies. With Trick Weeks like at the head, you know, like what would they do as like a new creative endeavor? I wonder if Veilguard is more like Deadpool and Wolverine, where it's a sort of side story, and then the next release will have more connections to the past games. I mean, I think John Epler kind of implied that, you know, where Veilguard was more its own story, but like other future games could like pull on the threads of other things. Which I think is fine. Julian Unspoken, I'm just excited for this game, regardless of what it does, such doesn't carry over. I agree, Julian Unspoken, I agree. Fucking Ronan. I can't do it because like the dogs will shout, and my family shout, but like it is so funny, dude. That guy, the only reason that guy is like famous is because of that. It's so good. Dragon Age is woke trash. Agreed. But it's woke trash in the good sense. Okay. Um with that out of the way, final thoughts. This article is good. I disagree with the person who wrote this article because he's definitely a Origins fan. But he did a good enough job in interviewing and getting a lot of like juicy details out of them. You know, this is like to me, I think a sign that anyone who thinks like Veilguard is like a, oh yeah, we're just like this is designed by committee. Like I don't think so, dude. I don't think so. Like I don't think so. Anyways, moving on. This is gonna be the last thing for stream. When we finish this, we're gonna end stream. I wanted to cover this because I really hated this video a lot. So yeah. So let's address the title first, though. Greedfall 2 is a spiritual successor to Dragon Age Origins. Wait, hold on. Steve says, I saw Luke Steven video talking about the 343 now Halo series revival and saw his chat people saying how it's just because the COO was. Yeah, gamers stay gaming, okay? There's two things gamers do, okay? Play games and be misogynistic, you know? I love it. Didn't Dan make a Veilguard rage video? I mean, yeah, right. Like, it feels like Dan is just basically, hates BioWare, you know? Which is like, okay, sure, guess, you know? That's fine. It's just like, oh yeah, literally. Dragon Age, Veilguard, like, yeah. I love it, you know? I love when things mean things, okay? I love it when, like, words have meanings, and it's like, oh yeah. Oh, and also this stuff. It's like Starfield versus Outlaws. Which game is worse? Like, okay. Like, yeah, man, sure. From a herd is not good, which is disappointing. Okay, you know, you want to know the real reason? Through the Unspoken, why it's not good? It's because they think it's something else. You know, it's I don't know why people think like Greedfall is bad. It's literally just another Spider Studios game. You know, it's a French Eurojank game. Like, what do you expect, dude? Like, it's good in that way. You know, it's still a good game. Didn't realize they made a Greedfall 2. Yeah, right. I kind of forget as well. I saw Fallen Big Dan a couple of months ago and recently did the whole not interested thing. Yeah, same. It feels like I remember a lot of his earlier videos were just like him doing like typical YouTuber things of top 10 Mass Effect companion, choices you didn't see. What? Like stuff like that. Fine. But yeah. Until recently I enjoyed watching Dan's videos, but the vibes are bad, the vibes are really bad. Big Dan has been another grifter channel. Used to watch him, it's sad. Yeah, it is sad. Yeah, it is sad that he's chasing the algorithm, Julia. I used to like Big Dan gaming, then his videos went the rage bait path. Yeah. Yeah, it is a shame he's become just like a, yeah. I agree, India Homes. I agree, close down channel. I mean, I agree, Wonka Star. He is definitely not like seeing what he wants, but like, I don't know, man. I just feel like it's so I can't muster the anger, of like Dragon Age 2 changes the gameplay, Dragon Age Inquisition changes the gameplay, Dragon Age Veilguard changes the gameplay. I can't muster the anger. I really can't. I love Greedfall 1. I'm looking forward to 2. Yeah, I mean, it definitely needs more work because of the gameplay, but like it's still a Spider Studios game. It's better in the story department for a lot of reasons. Um it's just I think a lot of the hate is just like, wow, dude, French Eurojank, I thought this was like the killer of BioWare. It's not. It's just French Eurojank. Gosh darn it, dude. People are surprised. Usually how it goes, most of these creators don't believe what they're saying. Yeah, Tootsie, I agree. Oh no, I was out for a bit in counting. Hey, Bards. You can go back to watch the final bit of the Eurogamer part. Oh shit. Um, Virginia. Mur, thank you for the $10. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Um, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much. I do want to say to everyone though, I appreciate the donations, but I don't want any of you to feel compelled to donate to me. Because like, I if you want to donate, you can donate, but like, yeah, I appreciate if you do, but you don't have to donate. Just like to give that expectation. Thank you though, Virginia. It's very kind of you. Back to the chat. I can't stand this shift to hating on every game. Yeah, but also what I can't stand and what really made me really fucking angry was, oh yeah, dude. Let's use Greedfall 2 to bludgeon Bioware. Like, fuck off, dude. Like, holy shit. I hate these people so much, dude. I hate these people who want to use another game studio who loves the other game studio and just use it to, like, hate on them. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, go away. I like Big Dan, but he came. Yeah, I agree. Dizzy Bubbles. I called out to new Rage Bait content creators that has gotten a lot of subs in the last 2 weeks because she's doing. I'm not sure about the one you talked about. There's a lot. I know that. Weird thing to say, but I think they're two women, right? One of them was like a VTuber, and one of them was like just a woman, right? I'm not sure which one you were talking about, Steve. Yeah, same Bards. I appreciated him for what he was as a dude who was just like playing the algorithm, but like a BioWare fan in general. It's like, okay, but nah. Dragon Age could even go prequel. I agree, Tamarake, but I do think if it does go prequel, it has to be more linear because of it. Which I don't mind. Be linear all you want, okay? Let me play as like a dude fighting alongside Andraste and Shartan. Let me be that forever. I love that. Oh, thank you, Virginia Murr. Thank you so much. I'm glad I in your eyes I'm worthy of like the support. I really appreciate it. I don't mind what I don't watch much of his content, but I find the. I mean, yeah, right. Yeah, I same close down channel. Hello, Edwin Roger Wells Jr. Chuck. Man, I'm in some fancy pants royalty. Okay, I'm sorry. Must I bow for you, sir? Must I kiss your boots? I find the comments here in this thread hopeful and very encouraging. The streamers who spin hate. Yeah, man. Just to maybe look at a bit. There was this one comment I found very funny. Because Dan like makes the claim of like it's good that it's going to be like Origins gameplay wise, and then there was some guy. Where was he? Um, where was he? I can't find the guy now, but like he's basically just was like, I disagree. This is like such a terrible move on Spiders because it's like, man, I liked the first game's gameplay and I didn't want this. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. Oh yeah, here it is. I really liked Greedfall for what it was at the time and the role it filled, but the sequel I'm not sold. Instead of iterating upon and building off what they worked, they removing what did and removing what didn't. They just decided to gut the combat system in favor of an Origins-like combat system. That is done far worse than in Origins. The UI is uninspired. The character creator even is worse than the first one, if that's possible. The graphics are kind of trash. I was excited to try out Early Access, but this has got me thinking I'll likely skip. And like, yeah, man, like Greedfall fans who loved the first game for what it was in gameplay wise, rightfully get fucking angry. You know, it's like, yeah, man, you didn't get your game. What you got was a game that wasn't what you wanted. That does make them BioWare in their respects because now they're inconsistent. Welcome to, you're finally BioWare now, spiders. But it's like, it's obviously to get upset, you know? And in these Origins fans who are making this out to be like, oh yeah, don't get upset, you know, you're gonna have a really good gameplay system. Dude, that doesn't fucking matter, dude. Dragon Age 2s and Inquisitions and Veilguards are not bad combat systems. The issue is that they're different from Origins, you know. The issue isn't of quality, the issue is of difference. You know? And these people just like absolutely just like don't understand, you know. They don't mind if a game series is inconsistent in their favor. It's fucking pathetic. Life is too short to spend time raging at a video game. I agree, Twitsy. Like I cannot muster up the anger to dislike video games. I really can't. You know, even games I do genuinely dislike, I just can't do that. I really can't. It's crazy to see the rage bait or hate content turn to hate on people like Xperia. I mean, yeah, right. Hidden Xperia, I mean, I do think it's bad how people make fun of him a lot. Being British and coming up with a whole iconic term can do that to you, but like, yeah. Any target lately. Yeah, that suck. There was another gaming news channel I was following, but had to unfollow recently because he went on a whiny rant about having. Yeah, Roman, I feel you. You know, it just feels like you're waiting for the day of like a YouTube channel you've been watching for a while, just to suddenly be like, "Holy shit, why are you so reactionary, dude? What happened?" Yeah, no, agreed, Drew. I tend to avoid them as well. I just sometimes cover them because I want to like address the discourse that's happening. I remember it's funny a while back when I realized the Greedfall fans and Dragon Age fans were annoyed at the combat of their games for opposite reasons. I mean, well, they're mad for the same reason, but they're mad that like Greedfall is mad that it's now a real time pulse game, and Dragon Age fans are mad that it's an action game. You know, it is funny though. I find the irony absolutely daunting. You know, but yeah, let's start with the video. I'm going to be 1.5 times speeding this because I'm not going through this, and yeah.
So about a week ago, Greedfall 2 launched into early access, and now that I've had a chance to play a significant chunk of content, I can see the Dragon Age Origins DNA within this new ambitious RPG. This is not to say that
Greedfall 2 is a successor to Dragon Age Origins. No shit, dude. Obviously. It's a Spire Studios is French Eurojank BioWare, you know? That's an obvious thing, you know? Like, I don't get it why these people, like, are suddenly so fucking surprised when they're like, holy shit, dude. They're like similar to BioWare. Like obviously, dude, they're obviously similar to BioWare. Their entire identity is literally just French Eurojank BioWare, you know? And so this to me, just and not only that, but this doesn't even recognize that Greedfall 2 is really not like Origins in many respects. It doesn't have Origins, you know, for one. It has a voiced protagonist. It has a voiced protagonist. Like, man, dude. Come on. It has a voiced protagonist, dude. It's like so daunting to me. It's like, oh yeah, it has a voiced protagonist. Something that Origins fans kind of fucking despise. Like, great, you know. The only similarity? Combat. Combat. That's it. That's it. Only thing that's similar is the combat. Maybe, maybe Greedfall, TDS, maybe it will be turn-based and finally have good combat. That's the fate of all turn-based, real-time turn-based combat games, you know? Eventually, They'll either become action games or turn-based games. Okay, the pipeline is real. Okay, it's real and true. Life can be difficult enough without turning games which are supported. I mean, yeah, same, Steve. I just can't like muster the hate. You know, I can't do that. It looks like a slightly. It kind. I mean, Greedfall 1 came out and it looks similar to Baldur's Gate 3. I just think this is how European games look. Larian is a European studio. I just think this is how European games look. They kind of just look like this. You know? I can understand outrage over choice limitations to a degree, but hating Veilguard because it's purple. Yeah, I agree, Indiana Holmes. There are issues you can have with it, but you can't like muster the hate for it. I can't even finish Greedfall 1 because it's really, Julia. That's odd. Oh, I'm sorry then, that sucks. Like Baldur's Gate 3 in early access, but it may not be too bad. I mean, that's the idea, right? I imagine like Spider Studios saw the success that Baldur's Gate 3 had and are trying to mimic it, which I think is fine, but like I think they should still have an identity of their own, you know? Like their gameplay was like solidly fun. Greedfall 1 had solid gameplay. It wasn't the best, but it was good, you know? They were getting up there. So it sucks to me that they kind of like trash that. Because that kind of like falls into the pit that like the biggest issue with Andromeda and Anthem was because they didn't reuse the tools from Inquisition, you know? That was the biggest issue with them. It seems like, you know, Spider Studios has fallen into the same trap of like, let's not reuse the same tools and combat systems and iterate upon it. Let's just like do something else and follow a trend, which is odd. But the difference is why people like this is because like it's a trend they like, you know? So fucking pathetic. Oh, voice protagonist. Yes, like Origins. What? Yeah, close down channel. It's so funny to me. Yeah, Greedfall, which is exactly like Dragon Age, which is Spirit's successor to Dragon Age Origins, has a voice protagonist. Doesn't have origins. Doesn't have any races. And what this guy will say in a moment is gonna be so fucking funny to me. I find it so funny. If you only play Leon's Sons, you could pretend Origins that was. I mean, yeah, that is true. TDS. That is true. Also, hi. I forgot to mention it. How are you doing? He does look like he doesn't know even he's about to do it. Like he's out of it. Yeah, I agree. It was odd. It was hard. I hardly ever get motion sick in games, but something about really, Julia. I'm sorry. That sucks. Greedfall is like a nice game, and I'm sorry you can't experience it. You know, it does suck. Greedfall was mass improvement Bound by Flame. I agree, Drew, but I love Bound by Flame. There's just something about Bound by Flame that I have so much charm with, you know? I absolutely adore Bound by Flame, you know? I'm so sad that we never got a Bound by Flame game. A sequel or remake, you know? Greedfall, I don't understand why the people are insulting Big Dan here. He's disappointed at, that maybe he is... Okay. Apris, let's shoot. Let's go here quickly. Let's just look at what like he's been like producing, right? People are calling it rage bait, not because it's just like he says mean things about Veilguard. It's because he's saying things. It's because he has video titles like Dragon Age Veilguard, how players is disrespecting, and things like this one, like which is worse, Outlaws or Starfield. It's deliberately rage baiting. People don't like Starfield, people don't like Outlaws, and so now he's making a video of not which is better, but which is worse, coming in with the assumption that these are two bad games that are bad and terrible, you know? And literally right here, the BioWare killer, Greedfall 5 years later. My man, he is rage baiting. You know, he's legitimately just rage baiting. People aren't disrespecting him because he said like some mean things about Veilguard. They're disrespecting him because like he's a bit of an idiot, you know? Hey, how's it going by the way? Everyone doing right? I'm doing good, Wonka Star. It's a bit hot though where I'm at. Terrible. I like to think Andromeda and Anthem were finally getting to fully understand and control. Nah, man. They already fully understood by Inquisition. It's just that the Anthem and Andromeda teams just didn't reuse what Inquisition had. Anthem and Andromeda would have been well-stable games, and we would have lived in a timeline where Anthem would have legitimately been a successful game, or at least a game that would have still remained nowadays, which is kind of good that it wasn't successful, but like yeah. Also fake system. I agree, bots. So any title that does not correspond to super positive. No, man. You can definitely tell if someone is rage baiting by their titles and thumbnails. You know, like Apris. Let's be honest, my man. There is a difference between rage baiting and just like playing the algorithm. You know, this isn't just like playing the algorithm. The guy's opinions is, yeah, Veilguard is bad, terrible, awful, and it's like it's more than just mean things being said. Someone who's generally upset because they care. Just, I mean, yeah. Like, if an Origins fan doesn't like the direction the series went into, I don't think it's bad for them to feel that. More power to you, you know? More power to you. But like, come on, dude. I can't muster the hate for this, you know? Especially on how he's using Greedfall to bludgeon BioWare, you know? Like, I don't think that's on. Yeah, I used to like Big Dan, but he's starting to feel more like a grifter these days. The only thing I agreed with him on is the whole Black Myth Wukong situation. I don't know about that. But yeah. I don't understand why there are people who think these games compete with each other, friendly competition. I mean, yeah, right. Like, I don't get it either. It's this weird. Like, I think it's interesting to have like a video that's talking about how different RPGs do their RPG mechanics. You know, I think that's good. But that's more of a comparison of how they make their game rather than the quality of said game. You know. Yes, it's content creators like you that I love just chatting, getting excited, and letting others. I mean, oh, thank you, Wonka Star. Thank you so much. You know. No, I agree. Close down channel. To be fair, Andromeda after BioWare did the last patch, and I mean, yeah, no, I agree with Steve. I agree with you, Steve. But Andromeda would have been such a better game if it reused the tools for Inquisition. I've seen haters say that Veilguard will be no competition for The Witcher or Baldur's Gate 3. Why should they compete for that? Yeah, I mean, they're also different games. Like, even back in the day when people were saying The Witcher 3 was better than Inquisition, like, dumbasses are dumb. You know, I'm sorry, dude. Witcher 3 is not the same game as Inquisition. They're same as in their RPGs. They have voice protagonists, they have cinematics, and it's open world, but they're not the same kind of RPG. You know? Like, I'm sorry, dude, they're not. You know? Witcher 3 doesn't have companions that have conversations that you can interact with, you know? When a channel is consistently negative and pretty much never focuses on anything positive, it's, I agree. I see people like Mr. Human squirming to avoid saying anything negative for the fear. No, okay. I think, okay, Mr. Hulton is a weird guy. I think he's also on the teetering point because, like, I don't know. I respect someone more if they just say it. You know, I don't care. I don't care if you hate a game. I really don't fucking give a shit. You know, hate Veilguard all you want. Hate it with your heart's content. Shout it loud and proud. Go to Mount Everest and make a fucking avalanche just saying you hate Veilguard, okay? I don't care, dude. I really don't care. What I care about is just being honest about it. Make a video, say you don't like it, be done with it. You know, don't use these games like Greedfall or Baldur's Gate 3 as bludgeons to hate another game. You know, you can talk about it in a sort of analytical way of comparing how different RPGs make their different mechanics, you know. But like doing this whole, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna hate BioWare and I'm gonna hate it using the vessel of Greedfall. Like, I don't think that's good, you know. Like that's the thing that also makes me really hate those guys as well, somewhat. It's just like, man, just say it, dude. Don't beat around the bush. Makes you wonder what has BioWare ever done for them. Too bad, unsuccessful for other games, and now every other gifter. Yeah, I mean, I think Zero10, my biggest theory on why so many people hate BioWare is because they fool themselves into thinking BioWare was something else. They thought Dragon Age Origins was trying to be like Fallout, right? It was trying to be like Fallout New Vegas, where you could make any kind of character, where you had a lot of choice, where you could proceed quests in any kind of way you want, you know. They fooled themselves into thinking that. And when as BioWare progressed, they realized they weren't like that. Even Origins wasn't like that. Origins was never anything like Fallout New Vegas, you know. But they fooled themselves into thinking that. And then now they're mad because they fooled themselves, you know. It's like, okay, cool, dude. You fooled yourselves, you know? Why are you blaming BioWare, you know? You made it oopsie doopsie, okay? That's fine. We all do that. I think Mr. Hilton is really uncertain about and doesn't really know what to think right now. I think he does. I don't think Mr. Hilton I think Mr. Hilton does know what he's thinking. You know? He just is not saying it. Which, like, my man, I don't know, dude. Just say it. Say it, dude. Like, you don't like it? Just say it, dude. You don't want to play it? Say it, dude. Like, I have no bother, like, saying I don't like Baldur's Gate 3. I have no mind saying that at all. I'm not cowed by that. I have no mind on, like, saying I don't like, MMORPGs. I don't like, what's another game? I don't like Gothic. You know, I don't like, what's another one? I don't like Skyrim. I don't like any of these kind of games. They're not my thing. But, like, I don't know why these guys have to say it, you know? Or why they, like, feel so nervous to say it, you know? They can't even, like, muster up the thing of, like, I'm not sure what to think. I'm unsure what to think. Using terms like Veilguard is exactly what admin troll farms do. Normal humans. Yeah, man. Like, I'll use Veilguard as, like, a funny bit. You know, like, Veilguard. I mean, like, it's Wokage, Veilguard. It's like a funny bit, you know? It really is funny. But if you're seriously using that as an insult, it's just like, okay, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let's go back to Bugthesda, okay? Also, when I say grifter, I just mean yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't think we're using grifter in its actual term. Grifter is someone who just says things for money, right? I'm not sure if Big Dan is that. Your channel and Minister's channel for me, I can just watch your videos and it's because it's just fun and nice. Oh, thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. That's a plausible theory. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a good theory. You know, it makes sense. Scorpion. A lot of his viewers seem to not like Dav, so I don't think he. Okay, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Like, okay, I I I don't know, man. Be authentic. You know, don't want to piss off your viewers? Do it, dude. I don't know, man. Be authentic. Because I think that's one of the strengths of being a YouTuber in general is being authentic. You know, and that's what a lot of people like about it. I want to be authentic. I eventually will make an opinion that you guys won't agree with, you know, and I'll defend it, you know. I'll try my best to defend it because I believe in it, you know. I'm not sure what that opinion will be, and we'll have to find out, you know, but I'll try to defend it. And I think there's some, like, truth and something nice about being authentic, you know. If Mr. Hilton is afraid of his viewers getting mad at him, then, like, I don't know, dude. Like, it's fine, I guess, but, like, I don't know. You click, but he doesn't mean what he said. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree, close down channel. Like, I think, yeah, somewhat. Thought I haven't watched much of Mr. Hilton as of late. Not sure if he changed. I don't know, dude. I get, like, off vibes from... The vibes are wrong with Mr. Hilton. Hello, Zog. I hope you're doing well. I think he's trying to avoid saying he doesn't like Veilguard. I think he's afraid to say he likes it. I mean, if you like... I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know what's wrong. Like, I have no issue. Like, I got a lot of fucking shit for saying Baldur's Gate 3 is bad, you know, when I made that video. And, like, a lot of people gave me shit. I don't care. I think it's nice to be a bit authentic, you know, to defend your position. Say you like it, say you don't. I don't know. Say you're not sure. Either one is... Like, you have to say something, right? You can't, like, avoid it. You can be upset about the choices and animations in combat, but claiming it's bad and going to fail. Yeah, I know, I agree, India Holmes. There's reason to dislike it. But, like, yeah, there's reasons to dislike Veilguard, and you can talk about it, and I can agree with it, a lot of it. But I just feel like mustering this much hate and using a game to, like, bash against it is, like, so weird to me. Woke age Veilguard goes kind of hard, not gonna lie. I agree. Kind of stopped watching Mr. Hilton. He became a bit more cynical. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a bit. Call me fighter, I agree. Just the vibes are wrong. This Dragon Age is the wokest one yet. I'm like, you promise? Yeah. Bet? Moist Critical at least says at how it is, isn't. Yeah, I agree. Like, that's one of the things. I don't like Moist Critical, like, opinion at all. I don't agree with him on many things. But, like, my man has authenticity, okay? Like, I can respect that, you know? Close down. Big Dan did use Elven Gold in his edits. Yo, I remember that. Yo, he did do that. Yo, in his like Veilguard video, and like it's so weird. He just like used it randomly. It's like, my man, so fucking transparent, because it does not want it to be labeled negative. It's plainly evident. He does not like the character designs. And my man, like, what's with the Apris? What is with the beating around the bush? Why can't he just say like he doesn't like it and be done with it? You know, like he doesn't have to use Greedfall as like a bludgeon against it. He can just say it and be done with it. Like I don't know. He is. Who cares if he's labeled negative? I don't care. Like for me personally, if people label me as like positive on Veilguard, yeah, whatever, what of it? Like yeah, like that's kind of what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm positive about the game. Yeah, sure, that's true. That's accurate. How's it bad? And if it's like, oh yeah, he doesn't want to be like thought like people don't want to watch him because he's negative. Yeah, man, that's their right. You know, if someone doesn't want to watch me because they disagree with my opinions, that's fine. You know, I'm not afraid of that. You just know that if Veilguard does a lot better than these haters expect, the amount of discourse, yeah, man, it's gonna fucking spiral, Steve. It's gonna be so terrible for them. They're gonna make so many justifications. And if Veilguard wins Game of the Year, holy shit, dude, they're gonna be scrambling for how DI wokeness, or how like the gaming industry has fallen because they allowed a game called Dragon Age Veilguard to win. You know? It kind of sucks because valid criticism. Yeah, that is true, sir. Like that's the one thing. All this like woke DEI stuff that these guys keep talking about, it's ignoring the valid criticism of Veilguard, right? Sometimes it crops up, but like, it sucks because like, shut up, guys. Your real discourse is happening, and you're drowning it with dumb nonsense. Insisting every single game fits into your preference, or everyone's preference is insane. Let creators make mistakes and take chances. And I mean, I agree, Working Star. Like, if you don't like the direction of something, that's fine, you know. But like, I think a good thing for like game developers to do is be authentic to what they want, you know. If BioWare wants to go into a specific direction and it's something I don't want, that's fine. I'm not gonna play it because I don't want it, but it's gonna be fine, you know. Hello, Snake Hiss. Hope you're doing well. I didn't get the complaint of the game not being open world. It's story driven on the emphasis and companionship and politics. Well, being honestly was a dreamy. Yeah, right. There's a lot of good things about Veilguard. A lot of bad things people could talk about, but like, I don't know, man. It's good. Is it not possible he really thinks that though? I'm not sure what you mean, Apris. That he thinks it bad? Yeah, but my issue is him just not like saying it out loud and proud. Don't hate before we've even seen it, and especially don't hate on those experiences. I mean, yeah, right. If someone tells me like they're not looking for Veilguard, you know what my response is? My response to that person saying they don't like Veilguard is, shit. I mean, okay, cool, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, okay. Like that's the only thing I can say. If someone doesn't like Veilguard, that's the only thing I can say. If these people just say I don't like Veilguard because I don't like the gameplay and I don't like the art style, damn, I have nothing to say. There are countless videos that I have not reacted to because they're just that. Like, yeah, okay. I can't say anything. The videos I react to because they have something. There's something I can combat against. Because there's like a premise, or there's an idea, or there's a logic behind it that's flawed inherently. You know? I'll listen to honest criticism, total discourse of the game. No, I agree, Drew. Game of the year? Game of the year. Game of the year, let's hope, okay? Hope, Virginia. I mean, India Hannah Holmes, like, Wolfhard does make some good criticism, but I feel like he's literally in the comment section for the video, you know? And it's just like, yeah, man, I don't know, man. There's some bad vibes from Wolfhard. Just saying. Ice Scorpion, it would be a nuke, and I would be so happy. My only reason for Veilguard having Game of the Year is not because I think it deserves it, but because it would be so fucking funny to see the amount of people just angry, just so angry, so seething, you know. It'll be the funniest thing ever, okay? I hope for it just for that. New one, Okay. He doesn't just want to say it because he doesn't want to lose viewers and money. I mean, yeah, but that's fucking cowardly, dude. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like what YouTube's great at it, and what I like about it, is the authenticity which people can do something. Like, hey, I'm like, you're just a guy. You're making videos the way you want to make them. You're not like thinking about the algorithm. You're just doing it, and that's how you get your popularity. And I think that's what makes the most popular YouTubers because they're authentic. Like Moist Critical is like one of the most popular YouTubers because I think in parts he's authentic. Yeah, I agree, Snake Haze. I agree. My best friends are very negative about Veilguard, I've heard. I mean, TDS, if they say that the graphics are ugly and they don't like the companions, I don't know, man. You're gonna have to press them on that issue. I don't know your friends too well, so I can't really give you anything. But like, a lot of people who say that will eventually like hear the DEI and work arguments and like, yeah, yeah, I agree. Which is like, uh. Oh, that's great to hear, Virginia. That's great to hear. If Morbius Mobile doesn't get Game of the Year, it's rigged. It's true. It's true, Close Down Channel, okay? It is rigged if Morbius Mobile doesn't get Game of the Year. It is so true, dude. Don't forget that most of the algorithm favors the hate. I agree, TDR, but like, I don't know, man. It's still bad, and that makes it even more fucking worse, dude. Like, it's one thing to be a hater, in an authentic way, but it's another to be like disingenuous about it. Wukong could easily win Game of the Year, but was excluded because of the policies. I didn't even play those types of games. I mean, I agree. I mean, like, I think a lot of the US and especially the Game Awards is very weird, especially to like Chinese games. So I won't defend that at all. Though I do think even if it wasn't banned, I don't think Wukong would win. I just think it's not the type of game. I think a large amount of its sales come from China, and obviously that's not like saying like it doesn't deserve it because of that, but like the Game of the Year awards is a Western thing. Yeah, Ice Scorpion, the season would be real, dude. Most of the time I don't care about Game of the Year stuff, but this year I want that. Yeah, just out of spite. I don't give a shit. I don't think Game of the Year means fuck all, okay? Game of the Year just means popular game, okay? That's all it means, okay? That's all it ever meant, Same with every other year of the war of anything. It just means this game is popular. That's all it is, an indication of popularity. But I want Veilguard to win just for spite, okay? Just for spite. Dragon Age like it. Yeah, right, I agree. Like, a lot of people go into Dragon Age with a lot of these like hearings and be like, man, bad game, right? Bad game, am I right, gamers? But like they don't let the game speak for itself. They don't form their own opinions. Oh man, dude, it'd be so good. Two woke games in a row. I know it's cowardly, but how is that? Yeah, Sir Junes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw some hater literally wondering why they could explain the surgery scars in the character. Yeah, Steve, that's so wild, man. Oh, Vows and Vengeance is such a good. Yeah, Vows and Vengeance really did help develop the companions so much. I don't even play those games, but people are clear Wukong is excellent, so why it's not. It is people like it obviously, but this is a Western thing. From Software is a Japanese studio, but they're clearly appealing to like a Western aesthetic. It's very clear from looking at Elden Ring and all their games. It is Western in many ways. Sekiro, which is one of their best games ever. I don't think won Game of the Year when it was out. Let me check quickly. Sekiro release date. 19 Game of the Year. Oh, it did win Game of the Year. Never mind. It got what it's deserved. Okay, never mind. My arguments are falling. Okay, I'm fumbling. Okay, I'm being disintegrated. Okay, you fucking owned me, Apris. Okay. But I do mean what I say. I do think like Eastern games don't necessarily get a lot of like Game of the Award, right? Like you can tell from like every Game of the Year award that has happened, it's always been like a Western game or a Western adjacent game, right? Game of the Year. Like in 2020, it's like 2021, like It Takes Two Western game, which I think it deserves. It Takes Two. It Takes Two is a good game. You know, it's good. Last of Us Part Two Western game. Then we have like an Asian studio, default list. Then we have like Eastern games do get nominated, right? But like I do feel like wait, funniest thing, Inquisition right here, Western game. Witcher 3 Western game, Overwatch Western game, Legend of Zelda Japanese game, Western game, God of War. It's like, I don't know. There's a lot more like Western games that get like more notoriety, and that just makes sense because the Game of the Year award is a Western kind of focus thing. But anyways, let me quickly like go through chat quickly so we can continue this video. It is not. I don't realize. I don't know what you mean, Gaspar. Wukong has a 8 out of 10 on MC. Not winning anything. Yeah, Wukong as a character is definitely not like how he is in the myths, you know, or at least as funny, you know. Wukong is a bit overhyped. I think Wukong is a bit overhyped. I think it's a very pretty game, and I think it does like. I think Wukong is a good game, but I think a lot of people are like making it out more than it seems. To be frank, to my friends, they haven't kept on the news like we have. They're more seen. Yeah, I agree. It would be cool, Roman. It would be cool to have 2 RPGs win back to back. Okay. Hello, gamer of open world. How are you? I don't know. I disagree, gamer of the open world. I don't really think so. Dragon Ball Z. I like Sparking Zero. I'm a fan of that kind of style of fighting game, but I don't think it's gonna win. Stellar Blade. I don't think it's gonna win either. Neither is like Metaphor of Plasma 30. It is way too niche. Like Persona 5 when it came out didn't get like Game of the Year. I don't see why that game would. Me, I play BioWare games and a small handful of other games once in a while. Also me, what the hell is Wukong? Yeah, what the hell is Wukong? Okay. Why are all talking as if oh yeah. Gaspar, that's just because gamers are dumb and fucking idiots, okay? Whenever a game comes out and a lot of people like it, they're like, Game of the Year? Game of the Year? Game of the Year? They kinda like that. Like fucking magpies. What I want to see is these haters respond to when we're playing. You guys, I was completely wrong about this game, and then have, yeah, man, that would be so funny, dude. The contradiction would be so much, but it's not because it's not out yet. Yeah, I agree, Stereo. Yeah, Claudine, I do agree. It did sell a lot more. That doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna win Game of the Year, right? Like the more the industry expands, the more like, sales are obviously gonna be expected, right? Anyways, let's get through this
2
video.
is anywhere near as good as Dragon Age Origins, far from it, but Spiders has delivered us a kind of experience we haven't seen in the 15 years since BioWare released the first masterpiece in the Dragon
By
Age
experience, Big Dan means tactics game.
franchise. In this video, we're going to go over the pros and cons of Greedfall 2 and decide whether it's worth playing in its current early access state. So without further ado, let's buckle up, grab some iced coffee, and dive into the world of Greedfall 2. So
I disagree, Alexa Noctar. Celebrate is not going to be Game of the Year. Celebrate was only popular because weird incel dudes were like, man, giant ass.
But let's set the stage. Greedfall 2 is a prequel story to the smash hit 2019 game from Spider Studio.
Really, Gaspar? That's interesting.
I was captivated by the world of Greedfall with its colonial inspiration, featuring guns and magic, fluid but janky combat, and a compelling world. But rather than iterating on the formula of the first game, Spiders decided to go in a different direction with the combat of Greedfall 2. No longer an action RPG, Greedfall 2 offers a real-time with pause strategy combat experience reminiscent of Dragon Age Origins and Star Wars Knights.
Oh, that's cool, Didier. I don't expect... That's cool to hear, that's good. It could also be in such a way that Veilguard doesn't fail. I mean, yeah, but I don't think that's like as possible. BioWare games have never really gotten that. Even like BioWare games like Dragon Age 2. Dragon Age 2 has gotten that a bit, but it's not to the same extent of anything else, right? You've never gotten a any like big YouTuber saying anything like that for a BioWare game. BioWare is a weirdly uniquely hated audience. That's one thing that Eurogamer article got right. BioWare is uniquely hated, like beyond any other developer, right? More than Bethesda, right? Because like it's so wild to me. BioWare is just a hated studio. You know, they just hate them. It doesn't seem like Origins at all, but let's keep watching. Yeah, I mean Origins. Do you mean tactical combat? Yeah. Then is already wrong because there's a lot of real-time tactical games. I mean, yeah, right. Like Origins is not the standard for tactical games. It was not the standard for tactical games when it fucking released. There were better games out there, and there are better games now. It is not the standard, okay? Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is better in every fucking way, you know? I think Pathfinder, yeah. And then like other games after it, still better. Origins was not a great combat game. It was okay, but it was the dumbed down Baldur's Gate 1. You know? What's the next BioWare game is announced? The previous people. I don't know, Zeralton. I don't know. I don't think so. Because that hasn't happened with Anthem. Andromeda to some extent, but that hasn't happened to Anthem. The Celebrate conflict was kind of odd. Was talking to a friend, he admitted that the woke people were triggered, but it's like, yeah, man, it's like, I don't get it, dude. It's like the only reason these people like Celebrate is because it made the wokes mad. But like no person I knew that was woke was mad at it. They were just like, oh, so it's just a lady with a giant ass, you know? Like, I don't know. Let's go here. It's like, this is what like look at this. This is what people liked about Celebrate. It wasn't anything other than just like, man, dude, giant ass. You know, the wokes must be mad at this. You know, like, no. Like literally, the guy panning over it right now. This is all it is. The ass physics, the jiggle physics. That's all. It's all it is, and that's fine. You know, if you want to play like sexual games, that's fine. No one fucking cares, you know? Just be honest about it. Especially with Dragon Age, how people started to... I mean, no, I agree, but like, I don't know. I don't think it's as prominent as like other games like Halo, right? Like, there are people legitimately who like Halo 5 and say it's like, man, dude, Halo 5, peak of the series, you know? I was thinking Wrath of the Righteous. Yeah, I want to play Pathfinder. I want to make a video called like Successors of BioWare, and I want to like include Alcat Games there because I feel like Alcat Games has a good pulse on like that BioWare feel, you know, especially with some of the banter I heard from the games. Yeah, lol, it's just a game that came out. Oh, okay. Exactly. Like I was literally like, oh, so it's just a good. Yo, that's so true, Snakehaze. You're so right, dude. It's literally just a, oh, so it's a Gunnar game. It's like, fucking of course, yeah. Yeah, if that's all you care about, then who... King, your crown is there. Just fucking admit it. You know? The Wokes just didn't care. Yeah, no one cared. The most the woke said was just like, so the appeal of the game is just the ass and tits. That it. And then people are like, no, it's more than just ass and tits, but like, come on. They'll add Gunnar gamers, yeah. Brother, go write to Jeffrey Killy an angry letter about it and not this Chad Lamau, yeah. I'm not sure what you mean, Gaspar. I'm not sure if that's directed at me.
Knights of the Old Republic. This pivot of the combat has been quite controversial, with many fans expressing dissatisfaction with the pre-release trailers, which prompted the studio to post a response on Twitter earlier this year. But you know what will never be unsatisfying? Hitting that like button and subscribing to Big Game Gaming. I make videos about RPGs and action games, so be sure to subscribe right now if you want to see more. Appreciate you, dude. Personally, I really enjoy real-time with Paul.
And again, like, I don't know, man. Wait, hold on, let me just quickly respond. I just agree the fan service is there, the gameplay is refined. Thank you, bro. I don't know, Lexa Naktar. I just disagree. I think Sekiro probably has a better combat, better gameplay. I don't know, probably better. Because this is the one fucking thing. Penalty of death, motherfucker. You do realize Sekiro was the point. The point was the penalty of death. The entire point of Sekiro was, hey, I am Wolf. I'm playing as Wolf, and I, as Wolf, am being now constricted between Kuro and my father figure, Owl. And I chose Kuro. If I chose Owl, I die, basically, you know, in a weird rage-filled kind of demon state. And if I chose Kuro, it is now, I am dedicated to Kuro. I am dedicated. I will kill myself for Kuro. And it's like, yeah, that's the whole point of the game. Death is a part of that world, the mechanics, and the From Software feel, you know? Like, I don't know, man. It's okay with a game and there's just ass and tits, but that's what Celebrate is. The story just seems, yeah, right, which is fine, but like, yeah. I would hate it if it would work other games to make. Yeah, I mean, I agree, close down channel. If like, oh, okay, never mind then, Gaspar. No, I agree, close down channel. I didn't hear a peep about Stellar and then ran it. Yeah, man. Stellar Blade's entire, like, popularity feels so, like, manufactured, you know? I don't know.
Pause combat. But I also appreciate that it has a much steeper learning curve than its cousin, turn-based strategy combat a la Baldur's Gate 3. Since everything is playing out in real time simultaneously, it can be difficult to tell what's happening in combat encounters compared to when each individual ally and enemy takes their turn one by one. This old-school genre was popular in the late 90s and early 2000s with the original Baldur's Gate games, Neverwinter Nights, and Icewind Dale, among others. But the genre has fallen out of favor in recent years, aside from a few standout games like Pillars of Eternity and Pathfinder, which sought to rekindle the genre. Since this is the first time Spiders has developed a strategy RPG of this sort, they decided to release the game in early access to solicit feedback from players on how they can improve the game.
Now again, this is one thing that I find so weird that these guys don't do. They will cry and bemoan of how like Dragon Age Origins is no longer itself. Dragon Age is no longer itself because it's not a tactics game anymore. But they will never give a shit if a game that was once an action game becomes a tactics game. Like, my man, why are you doing this, you know? Why are you doing this? It sucks. Like, in general, I like real-time with pause games. I just like them because I feel like they represent the world in a very good way. My reason for liking them is simply because I enjoy when a game's lore and world and like story and whatnot is reflective in the gameplay, you know? Manufactured how so? Lex, it's manufactured because like all the people who talked about it were literally saying, "Wokes be mad at ass and tit game." That's all it is, dude. I've not seen a lot of people who did not discuss it Stellar Blade without that context, you know? They should be happy that there are the Tomb Raider remasters just keep. I mean, yeah, right? Yeah. It is so funny that yo, like, holy shit, Lara Croft, an actual trans woman and trans man. It's like like fucking, I don't know, dude. It's so dumb. It's plaguing my mind. I find it funny how the anti-wokes are mad at the ghost of Yoto, where the protagonist is woman, but they love to celebrate. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it either, dude. I don't get it. Their ass and tits weren't big enough. That's the only thing.
I'm generally skeptical of early access titles, but if it worked for Baldur's Gate 3, then maybe it...
Anyways, I think it's bad that these guys, like, praise Greedfall for changing to a tactics game, instead of, like, giving the very clear and sympathetic of, like, yeah, man, I know it sucks, and I'm sorry, I'll enjoy it, because I like those kind of games, but it sucks for those players who wanted something different.
It can work for Greedfall too. Plus, Spiders is planning to release the full game next year, so I can imagine most of the content is already in development. So let's start off with character customization. You start off the game by creating...
Also, I'm sorry, I know this is Eurojank and whatnot, but like, man, dude.
Your character, a native of Tier 4D, which is the island where most of the first game takes place. The character customization options are kind of disappointing, to be honest, with less options for faces and hair than the first game. One other...
Congratulations. You've just entered a Eurojank game. Congratulations.
Thing that really threw me off...
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that's like, come on.
Is that the male and female body types are all mashed together with no real order to them. And since some of the models look relatively...
I mean, that also happened with Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. It was just body types. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. You had small body, big body, big body. It was like small male, small female, big male, big female. I don't think it's that complicated. I mean, yeah, right, Wonga Star. If they had like some giant knockers, some giant bazongers, right, on some of the female characters, a lot of these guys would look for another excuse. The only reason they dislike the art style is because like it's not Origins, literally it. Yeah, I agree, Steve.
Androgynous, I wasn't even 100% sure I was creating a male character when I was choosing the body, which
also, it's funny how he says it's like, I wasn't sure if I was creating a male character. I don't know, man. I can see. Maybe this is just me, okay? I know what a man looks like.
not something I ever had to question in any other
Like-
RPG I've played. I'll cut them a little slack since this game is currently in early access, but I certainly hope they will expand upon the options for customizing the appearance of your character.
Also, I don't know, dude. Come on, dude. Come on, we all do this, okay? Don't be a fucking coward. Look at the tits,
a better
okay?
job of organizing the options. The prologue of the game takes place in Tier 4D, and
Now,
about
this is something I fucking despise so much. I hated this so much, okay? This was such a dumb moment. Listen to this.
90% of the characters in the starter zone speak a made-up native language that does not exist in the real world. While I commend the devs for
Made up native language that doesn't exist in the real world. Now, this is what he says
their
next.
commitment to world building, I really think this choice hurts the new player experience, as you will have to entirely rely on reading subtitles.
Fuck the new player experience. Who gives a shit, okay? Who fucking cares? This is like saying Pathologic is bad because its new player experience is terrible. Who fucking gives? My man, that's the point, okay? I love it. I love it when they make fake languages in video games, okay? I love it when entire game is just in a fake language, okay? It is so fucking amazing, dude. I want more of this, okay? I want more fake languages, okay? Like, that's what made Tolkien cool. Like, I don't know, man. I would be the guy who'd have like an entire book, like all Lord of the Rings and Hobbit, just in the fake language that Tolkien wrote. You know, I would do that because it's cool. You know, like this adds so much immersion and so much world building, and also it'd be weird if they talk in English in our language, right? Because this is them. This is like it informs so much world building for them to talk the way they are. You know, and this is such like a dumb thing. And the next thing he's gonna say,
Titles to understand what's going on. I typically play video games in the evening after I finish my video production work for the day, and I like to be able to passively listen to dialogue and cutscenes. So I admit
passively listen to dialogue and cutscenes. Motherfucker, we're not playing Call of Duty here. We're playing an RPG. I know this is like a different person who's playing games differently, but come on, dude. RPGs expect you to use your brain a bit. You know, I don't know, man. This is so weird, man. I don't get it, dude. It's like, damn. When I finished my video production, I sat down and then I had to listen to a made-up fake language, and I had to read. This guy certainly doesn't read the codex entries. Most definitely. The only codex entries he's read is Mass Effect, and it was the voiced ones. That's it. I see that now. Also, what's wrong with having red subtitles? Yeah, man. What? Like, this is such a weird thing. Like, new players will play Greedfall and go like, "Holy shit, I don't understand this. I can't understand. I have no eyes." Like, my man. Subtitles, immersion. New players, I think, would appreciate that Spider Studios puts in the effort to make this native culture, like, and make it feel real. You know? I don't know. He's like, we have an English translation, perhaps. That's so true to Snake Eyes. Hello, can we actually have a native translation, please? I'm not always impressed with devs who create languages. Not an easy task. Man, dude, Greedfall has like one of the best like made-up languages. I will remember Umil Dul Frichteman like for the rest of my fucking days, because it is such a brilliant one. It's the like god for the natives, you know. Umil Dul Frichteman. It's like juicy, rolls off the tongue. If you want to escape into a fantasy RPG world, it just adds when it comes how the new ranks built into it. Yeah, Steve, I agree. I mean, like, I know it's a bit much to ask for developers, but could you please make an entire game where it's just in a fake language? Like, legitimately? Can we just do that? Like, I would love that. Like, personally, I would love to just play a fantasy RPG where we're just talking in a fake language. I would love that to bits. You know? We're playing Dragon Age Origins. You know, we're listening to fake languages. Oh wow, the dwarves sound like this. Oh wow, they're changing. They're changing their language to another language so that they can respond to us and we can hear them. It makes so much sense. And then you could have, like, when you're playing a dwarf, them speaking in Dwarvish to us. It's like, oh my gosh, that's like, it's layers and layers upon like immersion. You know? High five to subtitle crew. High five. I agree. Whoa. I always play with subtitles on because yeah, no, same, Romeo. Roman, I also have like issues with that. Sometimes I can't really understand or distinguish the words they're saying, so it helps with subtitles on. Yeah, subtitles are a necessity. Yeah. Imagine this Danish book. Yeah, man, it'd be so cool. Close down channel. I agree so much, dude. It would have been so amazing. It is, and it's not only that, but it's such good world building. You know that the Dalish speak in Elvish, but not entirely, because it indicates that hey, they don't know their language. They've lost their language, and so now they have to like recreate it and are trying to incorporate it as much into their lexicon as possible. The Darth Sharal isn't just like cool fantasy, isn't just fantasy slang to make it feel elvish. It is world building in dialogue. Like, man, dude, it's like a good game or something.
I ended up zoning out during a few conversations in Greedfall 2 and missed some key details.
No wonder he likes Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, you don't need to pay attention to get the story. Like, man, dude, I don't get it. Like, man, like, I zoned out and missed important details. My man, it's an RPG. You have to pay attention. Like, I don't know. Hello, Sam Adams. How are you? The team Iago games are incomplete. Oh, I like that. I remember learning about that, and I thought that was super cool. I absolutely adored that, you know, because I'm just like, wow. I don't understand anything, but fuck, that's cool. That's awesome. I often get someone or something distracting me when I play games or having something else just as helpful. Yeah. I want to play an elf and dragon. You should say more elvish players in poetry. I just want to hear the language more. Yeah, same. Well, to be fair, if you don't like ass and tits, that's cool. You do you, but I didn't say I don't like ass and tits. I quite explicitly like ass and tits. You know, I'm an ass and tits guy. You know, why not have both? I'm just saying, you can like Stellar Blade. Just be honest. You know, just be honest, my man. Like, yeah, I really wish BioWare didn't patent the dialog wheel. Yeah, it's weird that they did that. And here's the thing, it's specifically Casey Hudson, and then the patent the dialog wheel. From what I remember, I do think like EA and BioWare are involved, but they're like company entities. But like it was like yeah, inventor Casey Hudson, Jim Bissett, Drew Karpyshkin. Yeah, it's like explicitly these guys made it, you know, which is always funny to me because it's like, oh yeah, why'd they do that? Like, why'd they patent an interface? You know, it's not like, I don't know, man. It's weird. Especially because like you can tell like because Spider Studios, being a French Eurojank BioWare as they were, did use the dialogue wheel of Orcs and Men. You know, it's very funny. I kind of like the gibberish language in Animal Crossing. I like that as well. It's charming. It's charming. Why play an RPG if you're not gonna pay attention? Like, yeah, exactly, dude. Wasn't the point of RPGs is that they use the mechanics of an RPG to make the story a lot more complex? You know, we're not if we're playing like a tabletop D&D session, right? And the entire point of it is just like to zone out and have some goofy, wacky hijinks while you're high or drunk. You know, that's fine. But that's not the RPGs like this. You know. So funny, bro. I love you. Oh, thank you, man. I'm glad. Thank you. I think I'm funny. But you seem to be gleeful when your ideological opponents suffer. You said multiple times that you won. Okay, come on, can't you tell a fucking joke, dude? Like, am I actually saying Dragon Age of Veilguard should win just to spite people? Would it be funny? Fuck yeah, it would be hilarious, dude. But I don't think it should win on those grounds. Game of the Year, I think, should win on either two grounds. It indicates something. It indicates what games can accomplish. It is the best of its field. It is a game that is accomplished. It is a game that has accomplished its goal well and fantastically. Or the second one is that it broadens the medium, right? Like It Takes Two. It Takes Two won Game of the Year, and I think that was a good decision. Jeff Keighley, you brilliant motherfucker. Okay, you brilliant man. That was a good decision. To have It Takes Two and let it win Game of the Year. Because it deserved it. It was a very great game. It was very well made, but also it was a game that kind of no one really saw or really existed before. Having a game that was restricted to being co-op only made the experience and made that game far better. I don't think Dragon Age Veilguard should win because I want people to be mad and angry. That's not my opinion. I was joking, man. My opinion is I want a game to win. And I think Veilguard is the best one out there, right? To me personally. Now, my prediction on who is going to win, I still think is Veilguard because of the prior mentions of Game of the Year awards is a Western thing, and not a lot of and not a lot of JRPGs have really won. They've been nominated, sure, but they haven't really won. And when they have won, it's always been by studios that have like appealed to a Western audience or Western aesthetic. Like it's no surprise that like Elden Ring won because it was made by From Software, a studio that was loved a lot by the West for its Western aesthetic and appeal. Yeah, it kind of sucks that they did that. I'd like to see more games that use the dialogue windows. Yeah, same. A whole culture war because people just can't say I like boobs actually or dick. It's something about yeah, man. Like who gives a shit? Say you want a giant schlong in the game because you just want it. Who cares? Just say it loud and proud, okay? Like yeah, why do you think the character rate is back? Because you couldn't have a big enough dick, okay? Like, damn, dude, same. Like, come on. You don't have to justify it. Reviewing a game you actually save you've zoned out strictly cause of having to read. Yeah, man, it's so funny, dude. Like, you can I will give that leeway for Call of Duty fans. It's like, come on, dude, who plays Call of Duty for the story? Am I right, lads, or am I right? No one has done that since like Infinite Warfare, right? No one, and when they do pay attention, it's kind of like a stupor of like, wait a minute. Oh, it's actually not that good. Whoa, dude. And then they go back into their stupor because they're Call of Duty fans. Not trying. Reviewing a game, yeah. Alcat is my favorite developer. That's cool, Epris. I respect that. I want to play Alcat's games eventually after I finish Dragon Age Veilguard. Because I genuinely want to see how good their games are. So, oh, hey, JLX, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Pathfinder games warm. Yeah. I think Dav and Silent Hill remakes have the best chance of winning the year. Interesting to see wins. I mean, yeah. I wonder about Silent Hill 2. I wonder. Silent Hill 2 is a big game, but like I don't know. I feel bad of having a remake win game of the year though. I don't like the idea because it's like especially I don't like it. Hold on. I want to go back to like game of the year stuff, and I just want to see if a remake ever did win, or like was nominated. Yeah, Resident Evil 2 nominated for game of the year. Like, no, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It's a bit different because Resident Evil 2 was so different than like its original one in gameplay. Same with Final Fantasy VII. I don't like that at all. Yeah, Resident Evil 4. I don't like that at all because I feel like a remake shouldn't really get like a game of the year thing because like it's remaking an old game. Like I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with it. I have to think about it more. I'm about to play. Oh, I hope you enjoy Rogue Trader TDS. It looks really good. Dong sliders, anyone? Agreed, Snake S. Where's the dong sliders? Facts indeed. You're still destroying these. Oh, thanks, Jeremiah. Hey, I liked Cold War. Ready for Black Ops. Hey, Chloe Janitor, I respect it. Okay. I respect Ronald Reagan respecting the non-binary operative. I need arthritis slider for my ink. You just have the arthritis slider, I guess, about it. It's just like, oh yeah, and you can see your Inquisitor just like visibly hands are shaking, getting sore, rubbing them just to make them feel better, That'd be funny. Triarch is still cooking. I mean, I close down channel. I'm not saying Call of Duty games are bad. I'm just saying like, the audience, I want Dav to win Game of the Year because it's so damn good, and because it'll. Yeah, no, I agree. Virginia. I want it to win because I think it's good, and I think it will be good. You know. Final Fantasy Reviewers has the misfortune of being a console only and also being early in the game year. Oh yeah, right. Nora Hicks, I agree completely. There's a definitely bias of a game that is released early, not being able to win Game of the Year. A lot of gamers, being what they are, don't have a long-term memory. Okay, so a lot of the times when a game like releases like early in the year, they kind of forget about it. Let's see. Okay, Phantom Pain. When did this come out? 2015. I can't remember what year it came out. 14th December. Yeah, whoa, 14th December. When did this come out? 1st September. Yeah, so Witcher 3 came out. Well, that's fine. Oh, never mind, dude. Wait, holy shit. Am I bad? I'm dumb. Never mind. My arguments are crumbling. Okay, I'm disintegrating. So I do think that is generally a correct thing. A game that gets released later is remembered more than a game that gets released early. Dragon's Veilguard. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I hope so. I think a remake. Yeah, but Zeralton, but it has gotten nominations. My worry is that we're gonna get a remake win Game of the Year, and I don't like that at all. I don't like that idea at all. I just don't. Hello, Belladonna. I hope you're doing well. And also, hello, Nora Hicks. I hope you're doing well. How do you know it's not even out yet? Wow. I don't know, man. Just vibes. Yeah, no, I agree, Jeremiah. Yeah, Zerta, it is honorific. I'm even bothered by the idea of a remake getting a nomination. Like, oh, you're telling me that this remake of a game is getting a nomination, right? For what, being a remake? It's a good remake. The Resident Evil remakes are good. They're really good, but it's just I don't know. This doesn't feel right. Yeah, remakes should have their own categories. Remakes should have best remake of the year, or if there is a lot of remakes in a year, right? I think that's a good suggestion, Virginia. Jeff Keighley, get on that. That's fair, not wanting. Yeah, if Dav nails the story, characters, choice, consequences, graphics, and game. Yeah, I agree, Steve. I think with the other Game of the Year's one, there was always some issues with them. But they were good in other areas to such a good high degree that it kind of made up for it. Witcher 3's open world is fine, but man, its open world is bad. I don't like its open world at all. Neither is its combat. But man, Witcher 3's story, its voice acting, its characters, its art, everything beyond its combat and open world, it's good. It's phenomenal. Yeah, remakes don't have to make up a new story. The writing mostly stays the same, and so it feels weird when it's nominated against games. Yeah, I agree, Stereo. Yeah, I agree, Jeremiah. Yes, I mean Nora Hicks. I agree. It is very different, because Final Fantasy VII Remake does hit different beats, but I still feel a bit off by it because it feels like it has a stacked deck in its favor. I hope I hope that Alcat never goes to mainstream. I mean, I hope so too, Apris, right? Because I think what makes Alcat a good studio is that they stick to what they are, right? That's what makes Larian successful. Larian stuck to what they are, a studio that just wants to make Ultimate 7 again. Sven Vinecki is just there talking to all the designers and developers and going so, Ultima 7, attempt 5, which is yeah, I mean, based, and I think that's what Alcat should do. Alcat should stick to what they want to do. That's what BioWare should do. BioWare should have stuck to what they wanted to do and not done multiplayer stuff in 3, in Mass Effect 3, or Andromeda, or Anthem. That was the issue, right? Knight, do you think Mass Effect 3 will carry over the past choices? I don't think so. I think okay. So my opinion on that is I think Mass Effect 5 will carry over some decisions, but it's going to have to canonize a bunch of stuff. It's gonna have to canonize obviously the ending. It's gonna have to canonize the Krogan genophage question, the Quarians, and the Rachni one to a degree. It's gonna have to do that. Why? Because otherwise the story is gonna be wildly different. And also they're gonna have to canonize whether Rex is alive or dead, or Eve's alive or dead, because you cannot have Rex. You cannot have Krogan genophage cured with Reeve alive and Eve and Rex dead. You can't have that. That's gonna be a totally different story. That's gonna be so different, dude. The conflict's gonna be so different. You can't have that. And it's just like, yeah. And not only that, you can't time skip it, because the Krogan will outlive everyone. You can't time skip that kind of scenario, which is like, okay, cool, damn. That's why, to me, like, I think they're gonna have to canonize a lot of stuff. I think the choices that won't be canonized are gonna be stuff like and also I know you said like carry over to the next game, but I think you more mean like canonized stuff. I hope that's what you mean, Combu Fighter. But things like romances and like small side quest decisions are gonna be like up to player. Corrupt them as in Botan. Yeah, Zoltan. Best remake is a cool one. Yeah, I agree, I want Dragon Age 2 remake. Dragon Age 2, okay. Everything I said, I don't care about. Okay, Dragon Age 2 remake should win Game of the Year, okay? That's my opinion, okay? That's my opinion, okay? Is it contradictory? Yes. Do I care? No. A Dragon Age 2 remake would be good, but a Dragon Age 2 remake would literally just be like adding new levels. That's it. Like, damn, this Dragon Age 2 remake, fire. It added another cave, one single cave, a single cave, Yeah, same game of the open world. I need a Dragon Age remaster, please, BioWare, please. I hope Shepard being dead is canon. I mean, yeah, like from what I think I know about Mass Effect Drive, not saying I have insider knowledge. I think they're gonna have to time skip, which effectively means Shepard's dead. So hey, Shepard's dead. I think remake should only be nominated if they add to the story and switch things up, like Resident Evil. I get you, Nora Hicks, but I don't know. I'm worried the story will be canonized. Bart's, I think the story is going to be canonized. You can't have, like, Control be canonized, because, like, that has some issues with it, especially if your Shepard was a good person. It kind of implies that, like, Shepard's not, like, a god machine, and just does good things forever. You can't do the synthesis ending, because, like, conflict would have to be... The conflict of a synthesis ending would have to be very weird. I think the only way to continue the Mass Effect series in a way that people would recognize is a story ending. Now, do I think they should make a Mass Effect 5? No. They shouldn't make a Mass Effect 5. If BioWare wanted to, like, be authentic, they should have just, like, not make a Mass Effect 5. They should have made it an Andromeda 2. They should have stuck to their guns. But they didn't, which does suck. Reeve was such a joke, I kind of cheered when he was taken out. I mean, okay, when I initially played with Rex, when I finally got Rex alive, because I played each game, I played Mass Effect 2 and 3, because I didn't know how to do an import save. So I played it with a base, like, BioWare canon save, right? I didn't know who Reeve was, and when I saw Reeve die, I was like, wait a minute, isn't that the guy who replaces Rex? I'm like, oh yeah, he was a jerk. I mean, I guess it's good that he died. So yeah, Yeah, I don't want the story ending to be canonized, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was, yeah. I have for GTA 6. Jeremiah, I mean, I'm happy for people who are hyped for GTA 6, but I'm not one of them. I'm not a fan of GTA, like, Rockstar games. They're cool games, and I might play some of them eventually, but yeah. Dragon Age 2 Remake would be game of the decade. Agreed. Owning our contradictions is good. That's what makes me different from all these other fucking guys, okay? I own my contradictions, okay? Wait, on those two positions, completely inconceivable, unable to synthesize? Yes, I don't care. There's this one, the fundamental things wrong with BioWare is by having so many choices they have written on the corner. Yeah, Norin Hicks. And that's fine, I think one of the ideas I have for, like, an end of the Lost Dragon Age game is we have a low stakes game where the basic gist is you are playing as a mercenary and you're going around all of Thedas just doing mercenary things. It's low stakes, it's very, like, episodic in a way, but the point of it is not the story. The point of it is showing our choices realized. We go to Adenaurum. we get to have this like long showcase of either a Nora or Wardent or Alistair, any combination, being king, queen, or anything like that. Then we go to Orzammar. We see how that plays out. We go to Redcliffe. We see the Circle. We go to Amaranthine, Vigil's Keep. We go to all the big locations that we have visited in Dragon Age, and we're playing as a mercenary. But the point isn't the work itself, the mercenary work itself, but the point is demonstrating our choices. And I think that's a good way. But BioWare wants to make more stories. And you can't do that with the choices that they offer the player. Because you essentially make the games no longer about showing a story, but about showing choices. But that's only working unless it's like end of game franchise kind of thing. New Cave, they do something with the DLC companion from Dragon Age 2. Haven't played the DLC, just trust me. Yeah, I trust you. I trust you, Snakis, I trust you. Honestly, they just remastered Dragon Age 2 and added some new maps and maybe... Yeah, right. Like literally. Like, I obviously, like, being serious, like, I think for Dragon Age 2, they should, like, each area you go into, like, a repeat level, they should just make a new level for that. You know, just because. Because it would be better. And that's it. That's literally all they have to do. Make new levels, and that's it. Game of the decade. And Andromeda was okay, but I'm going to... yeah, Andromeda was okay, but it was the only way to get to the Mass Effect universe. It was either Andromeda or no Mass Effect whatsoever. You could do some prequel games, but like that's it. Which I think they shouldn't have made a Mass Effect 5. I don't think they should have. Because the promise was like, hey, we don't want to disrespect player choices, but they're gonna have to do that. You know, Dragon Age 2 Remastered DLC where you go to Kiss Varric finally. Yeah, that's the only thing the remaster actually does. Dragon Age 2's remaster actually does. It just has you Kiss Varric. If Veilguard succeeds, BioWare will have a cloud to revive Mass Effect 5. Will have the cloud to reveal Mass Effect. Yeah, Veil. They're like, hey, we all know you love Veilguard, so here's Mass Effect Andromeda 2. Like, oh yeah, I agree. Do you think they will make more games in the Mass Effect universe and do what they do for Dragon Age? And Sorry, Jeans, I don't... Okay, I think they will, like, change the protagonist up, but I think they're going to be, like, trilogies on themselves. You have, like, Shepard's trilogy and what was supposed to be, like, Ryder's trilogy, even though, like, Mac Walters, like, said, like, Ryder, they weren't going to make a trilogy. They were going to make a trilogy. Like, I don't think they were going to, like, make Ryder and just not reuse them, you know? They were gonna have a trilogy with Ryder in of himself. But like each trilogy would then like end off that character, and then a new trilogy would start with a new character. You know, they might like do side games where you play as like one character, like a CSEC officer or something. But yeah. What are your thoughts on Red Redemption 2? I think Red Redemption 2 is really cool, Jeremiah. I think it's a cool game. I like to play it eventually. I have to play Red Redemption 1. I know it's not really necessary to play RDR2, but I think it's a cool game. I like the effort that it's put into it. And also that's more generally because like I like Western more than like modern. Like I'm not a fan of GTA's setting, right? I'm just not a fan of it. But I do like the Western setting more. You're also going to need to change those enemies that you fight at night in the city of Dragon Age 2. So many people. Yeah, all of them just dropping down below, you know, breaking their fucking kneecaps. Okay, it's like, my, you know, that's why they have such little health. The one thing I want to point out, which is interesting, is that like, Origins also had that to a degree, where you had enemies like popping out of nowhere, but it was reserved for spiders and demons. You know, it's one thing I noticed playing Dragon Age 2. And Dragon Age Origins, it's like, yeah, Origins did do that as well, but it limited to like demons and spiders. You know, obviously I don't think it's great for immersion purposes, but I do think it's interesting. Oh, okay, Norrin Hicks. Okay, I got you then. I gotta go. Day with my teen. We're watching. Oh no. Okay, cool. Virginia Murr. Thank you so much. You know, I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy it. You know. And also thank you again for the donation, you know, I really appreciate it, you know. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope the next conflict will be about Kunari invasion. It's a big... same dude. I would love a game set in Parvolan. It'd be so great. I know it's not going to happen, but imagine somehow the next Dragon Age would be cool if it involved all the protagonists. I mean, that would be cool, Steve. That would be really cool, you know. First Contact War would go hard. It would go hard. I think the next Titans. I mean, yeah, I think that'd be cool. I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel like Veilguard's gonna involve the Titans to some degree. I think Andromeda would have was a great idea that just got meddled with and it was executed. Yeah, right. Like, I think one of the biggest problems is that Andromeda didn't abandon the idea of procedural generation fast enough. You know, like, and this is why Mac Walters is a cool guy, and he was the guy who made Mass Effect 2 what it is, basically. But like, man, dude, Mac Walters' idea of like, yeah, we need to be innovative is like such a death sentence, you know. Your only innovation only happens. Innovation happens when it happens. Okay, you can't force it. You know, I'm fine with older games. Hello, Indie Alexander. Hope you're doing well. Oh, is it? Yeah, Redemption 1 is on PC, but I already have like a physical version. I'm not gonna buy it again. I'm not buying it again. I'm not buying it again. I'm not buying it again. I'm fine with the older game choices being irrelevant in Veilguard. No, I get you. Darkspawn does the random spawning for the final battle. Yeah. Right. Though contextually, it makes a lot of sense, you know, for the Darkspawn doing that, because they're literally coming out of like doors. While with like a lot of the Kirkwall crime dudes are just like they jump down, you know, behind you, you know. I'm not buying old games. I mean, I get that, Jeremiah. Anyways, let's try to finish this video.
Details.
Also, again, weird thing to call this
and miss some key
Greedfall 2 a
details.
spiritual successor to Dragon Age Origins when we have our protagonist character right here talking.
It's extremely important to hook players within the first hour of gameplay.
And how is this not hooking players? Like, what players do you think are playing Greedfall 2 and are going like, wow, I hate this. I don't want this ever. I never want a fake language, okay? Like, no, dude. What are you talking about, dude? RPG fans love this shit, okay? They fucking love this. They eat it up.
So I think the decision to have all the characters speak gibberish for the first 4 to 5 hours of the game.
I love characters in concept Andromeda. Yeah, Nora Hicks. I can agree with that. It felt like low stakes. It's so complicated. I think it somewhat pulls it off because of Andromeda's like idea is the Kett are a threat, but we need a colonization. So it's like we can't take out the Kett without colonies. But like, I think it did it well enough, because if you pursue the main quest, you were going after the Kett and also helping the colonies. But if you just like help the colonies, it helps you not only fight back against the Kett in some ways, right, like getting resources, but also expanding the whole colony things. I'm not sure if I explained it well. I am tired. So yeah, I think the concept of your character being a Pathfinder or becoming Pathfinder is a great. Yeah, no, I agree. Excited for Dev. Low, can't decide if I want to play an Evoker, Mage, or Veilguard. Yeah, I can't decide either.
Is a huge mistake for roping players into the experience. Now, after the prologue, you will go back to the other continent, which was where you actually started the game off in Greedfall 1, and most of the characters there will be speaking English, so this is really only an early game problem, but the early game is the most crucial part of the experience because.
And I don't know, dude. I don't get it. I don't see how this is bad at all, and I just don't see. Again, it's also like, man, I don't know.
Because that's when you hook the player in. So let's talk about the combat. The combat has been pretty fun for me so far. There are a variety of different builds you can pursue, similar to the first game, including magic, firearms, blades, and blunt weapons. You control a party of up to 4 characters, your main plus 3 companions, though you will only have 2 companions in the prologue. The skill trees and abilities are quite extensive in comparison to the first Greedfall, though some of the options are not filled out yet since we are still in early access. The combat is very Dragon Age Origins coded, certainly more so.
By Dragon Age Origins coded, it means it's a real-time with pause game. Like, I don't know, man. Like, Dragon Age Origins combat is not like the only way to make a real-time with pause combat system. You know, there are different ways. Pillars of Eternity is the same combat system, but like done differently. You know, and they're not similar at all. Dragon Age Origins is fucking dummy simple. Okay, I understand, and I'm like the RPG fan, who just does not engage in combat, and I was able to understand it. You know, but like with Pillars, right, it is far more complicated. With far more abilities, spells, stats, and like it's much more complicated than like Dragon Age Origins. I don't know.
Than the Veilguard. So for Dragon Age fans looking for.
Oh, Julia. See you then, Julia. I hope you enjoy this day. Thank you for hanging out. I really enjoyed it a lot. How is the language problem setup? How is the language the problem? Is the setup for this? I don't know. The fact that like they're speaking a different language irritates him for some reason. I'm going to be Sword and Shield Warrior. Oh, that's cool. I'm not sure what class I'm going to play in Veilguard. I have to think about it though.
For a return to the glory days of 2009, this might be right up your alley. One thing that kind of disappointed me were the graphics and animations. Greedfall kind of had
Damn, dude. Eurojank, French Eurojank game.
an outdated look back in 2019, and there has been zero improvement
And you know what? I'll say this. I'm fine. It's obviously not the best and obviously not what I want, but it's fine. I like it.
in the character models or animations.
But one thing I will say as well, this could have been better. You know how it could have been better? If Spider Studios just focused on the combat system they had before, they could have made this look a lot better. That's what Larian did. Larian made DOS 1, DOS 2. They weren't really that cinematic. They weren't really that graphically powerful. They weren't really that artistically great. In some areas they were. But they were building up towards something, which led to Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is the culmination of all the experience, tools, and knowledge they had. Greedfall could have had that too, as well, if it didn't just abandon its own gameplay.
I appreciate that Spiders is a small studio that doesn't have the resources or staff to produce a AAA quality game, but not making any improvements at all is pretty disappointing, considering the game has been in development.
Because it had to change to a different gameplay system. That's why. There are sacrifices in development, You can't just have, like, all good things be good things,
For like 4 or 5 years at this point. Some of the maps look pretty from an art direction standpoint, but overall the game has a last-gen look and feel to it. But hey, at least it's not a full-price game, so maybe I shouldn't complain too much. The companions and story, on the other hand, hooked me in. I particularly like Ludwig and the badass merchant babe Sybil. There will be romance in Greedfall 2 as well, so RP enjoyers will have a field day.
Holy shit. Is that a Bound by Flame character? I remember Sybil. Sybil. Wow. Ain't that a funny thing? Animation looks a bit stiff, but stylized enough to distract. I mean, yeah, right. Yeah, right. But this is just how, like, all European games look like, She looks like she's from Assassin's Creed. She really does. I'm pretty settled on Rogue for Veilguard. The archery talent seems pretty promising. Oh, it's cool, though. I don't know what I'm going to play for in Veilguard. There's just a lot of options.
With these companions, I'm sure. Greedfall 2 also improved the talent system so that you can perform at least basic level 1 actions like potion crafting, lockpicking, disarming traps, etc., without wasting points on talent trees you're not interested in for your build.
That's weird. Origins had to have you, have some talents in those. You had to have lockpicking. You had to have pickpocketing. You had to have poisoning. You had to have persuasion. You had to purchase those points. Now, was it good? Maybe, maybe not. But that was part of Origins, like, mechanics, RPG. So it's weird to say this, because again, this is incongruent with what Origins did. Can't really be a spiritual successor to Origins if it doesn't restrict the player and force them to take narrative talents over mechanical talents. It's an odd thing to say.
But you'll still need to invest more points to pass the more difficult talent checks, so I think this is a good balancing decision. You also have more carrying capacity, so you won't be running into the age-old RPG problem of over-encumbrance every 2 minutes. At the end of the day, I really enjoyed Greedfall 2, and I look forward to the full release next year. I know I've leveled a lot of criticisms in this video, but I do think this game has a lot of promise. And this franchise has a lot of promise from a lore and story standpoint, and I hope that the game will be well received amongst RPG fans.
And again, like, this entire video is literally just talking about it, but, like, again, there isn't really a lot of discussion on, like, how it's a successor to Dragon Age Origins beyond combat. And that really does suck, It's like, oh yeah, this game is like the spiritual successor to Origins, using like Greedfall as a bludgeon against like Veilguard, It's like, oh yeah, how's this successor? Combat. It's like, oh okay. I guess Believer's Eternity is a successor to Dragon Age Origins, even though it's not. Like, I don't know, man. I'm waiting for one of these days until someone says like, wow, Obsidian is the successor to BioWare, and have like Obsidian's fans fucking descend upon them, absolutely fucking bashing them, saying like, you idiot, you moron, we're not like BioWare, we're not like the worst game studio ever, okay?
But because of the genre change and the decision to soft launch into early access, I am worried about the future of Greedfall 2. The player count on Steam has been pitifully low, and I wonder if this game will just end up being a complete flop when it reaches its full launch. I certainly hope not. But if the game does fail, we may not get a Greedfall 3. At the end of the day, it's the players who will decide whether or not they want to buy and play Greedfall 2, so I guess we'll just have to see how things play out. But if you want to check out the game for yourself, it's currently available on Steam for $40, which is $10 cheaper than it will be on launch. The game will also be available on consoles when the full game releases, but at the moment, I believe it's only available on Steam. So what do you guys think of Greedfall 2? Have you played the game yourself yet? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more RPG.
But yeah, it's literally just a video being used to hate Dragon Age. Veilguard. That's literally it. Literally it. Of course, Greedfall is a successor to like BioWare. Of course, because Spider Studios is literally just French Eurojank BioWare. That's it. I don't get why people are doing this, you know? Like, oh, like, I can get it in, like, a game studio that's similar to BioWare in making that kind of video. It's something I want to do. But, like, it's used in a negative capacity instead of just, like, a, hey, man, if you like BioWare, try out these studios, you know? They're also similar, you know? Roman says, I'm never bothered by graphics quality in games looking interesting. Finish the... Yeah. I mean, I still haven't finished the DLC for Greedfall, but I want to do that quickly. You know, that's like saying Persona 5 Strikers is spiritual successor. Yeah, man, it's so weird, dude. It's like, and it's also weird because, like, yeah, Spider Studios games are generally similar to BioWare games. They're going through the similar process of like the kind of RPG and telling stories through characters, but they're like, So it's weird because it's, I don't know, man. It's weird. It's weird. He just clickbait the title. I mean, yeah, obviously, but it's still the fact that he did that. He could have just said like Greedfall 2, cool game, you know. That's it. What's the obsession with Origins? They fooled themselves into thinking Dragon Age Origins was something else it isn't. They fooled themselves into thinking it was like Fallout New Vegas. But oh, whoopsie doopsie, it's not actually. Something else. I believe I started Greedfall but never finished it. I mean, yeah, Greedfall 1 is definitely not the most like easy to finish game. It's an open world game, so it's a lot harder to finish. There are other games I think are harder to finish in some ways because they're like not as well refined. But it's a lot how do you say? It's shorter. It's shorter. Steam charts are not the full picture. Yeah, especially Steam charts for a single player game. For multiplayer games, it's a lot more indicative. But for a single player game, it's just like, okay, cool, I guess. Especially an early access game. Yeah, very misleading clickbaity title. Yeah. It also sets an expectation when you compare an indie game, I'm guessing, to a triple A. I mean, well, Greedfall, Spider Studios is a double A game studio. But it is still a bit dumb, you know? It is very clear to me, very transparent, that, like, Spider Studios wants to like take up the niche that BioWare left, which is the real time with pause strategy game in a cinematic way. And that's fine. I don't mind that. You know, I just wish they did it with a new IP instead of like Greedfall. You know, I think that would have been nice. You are correct that the Pathfinder comes close to the party banter, though it only happens during campaigns as resting, but still a lot of banter that happens with fun. I mean, yeah, right, Apros. I agree. I've heard some of the banter, and also I love that it happens during camping and resting. That's a brilliant fucking move by Owlcat Games. Literally genius, you know? I'm sorry, dude. We need more banter triggered. The reason why Dragon Age 2's companions are so well remembered and so loved is because it triggers every single time. You walk 5 steps, banter triggers. You walk another 5 steps, banner triggers. Banner triggers like all over the place. And since in Pathfinder you have to rest a lot, from what I know, you just get a lot of banter triggers. And that is just like an amazing design decision. You know? It's like, wow, Owlcat the Genius Studio? Whoa. But yeah. Anyways, this has been the stream. Dragon Age 2's work, agreed. So, Pathfinder doesn't put quite as much emphasis on companions as BioWare, but the companions are great. Yeah, that's what yeah. Okay, so this has been a stream. It's been going on for quite a while, and I need to, man, stop. So, we're just gonna wrap up. Any final thoughts about the stream? About any questions or anything else? Or are you guys all good on just like wrapping it up? It was an art stream. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm really glad in Veilguard that the banter will resume after combat. That is really good, Steve. That is a really good thing. If DF4 doesn't have a meaningless penis line than game, that is true close down channel. If I cannot have like a giant schlong, okay, then it's really bad. Terrible game. Disappeared for a second there. Oh, that's I'm sorry then, Lucas. Lex, I not sure what you missed. Good night. It was a fun stream. Oh, thank you. It was a fun stream. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining. You know. See you later. See you later than 18 days. Pew pew. Oh, see you then too. It's been great. No, it's been great, Steve. No. Bye, close down channel. I hope you have a nice day. Okay then. Well, that's been it. Thank you all for joining the stream. It was lovely as always. We'll catch the early part of the stream I missed, but good talk. Oh, thank you, Nora Hicks. Villa Morboy, thank you so much for coming as well. Thank you, Roman. Thank you, India Holmes. Missed a bit, but I appreciate the discourse despite the wholehearted disagreement. I hold some of your points. No, it's cool, Lexi Nocturne. I don't mind the discussion. Though I do wish like some people like understood what I meant, you know, not misinterpreted. Everyone has a great day. Oh, thank you too. Barmunda, oh, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy. And yeah, I mean, that's been a stream. Thank you so much, everyone. I always enjoy these whenever I get the chance. It's a lot of fun. And for anyone who's like watching the VOD, hi. I hope you enjoyed it. Perhaps liking, subscribing, maybe even commenting. You know, that'd be cool. You know. So yeah. Snake Kiss. Thank you as well. And yeah. Hope you enjoy the stream.